starting the show in just a few minutes. We're just getting prepared, mixing cocktails and settling in for 3 hours of chat and some non-PC fun. From wherever you're listening or watching our show, let us know where in the world you are by posting in the chat room or hit us up on Facebook. Just look up The Show with Clayton McKee. At the beginning of Hour 2 is when Al gives us our drinking word for the night. Grab a beverage and drink along with the cast as they get rolling. You found Q Talk America. Tonight's live broadcast will start at the top of the hour. We would tell you that this ain't your mom's radio station, but Clayton's mom listens every week. You found Q Talk America, home of The Show with Clayton McKee, Marnie Ryer, Kat Carlson, and Al Perkins. We will be starting tonight's broadcast at the top of the hour. By the way, we're a 3-hour show, so grab a beverage and get comfortable. If you have a topic you'd like us to talk about or a question for the cast, please post it in the chat room or on our Facebook page. Simply look for The Show with Clayton McKee on Facebook. We'll be starting the show in just a few minutes. We're just getting prepared, mixing cocktails and settling in for 3 hours of chat and some non-PC fun. From wherever you're listening or watching our show, let us know where in the world you are by posting in the chat room or hit us up on Facebook. Just look up The Show with Clayton McKee. At the beginning of Hour 2 is when Al gives us our drinking word for the night. Grab a beverage and drink along with the cast as they get rolling. You found Q Talk America. Tonight's live broadcast will start at the top of the hour. We would tell you that this ain't your mom's radio station, but Clayton's mom listens every week. Q Talk America, home of The Show with Clayton McKee, Marnie Ryer, Kat Carlson, and Al Perkins. We will be starting tonight's broadcast at the top of the hour. By the way, we're a 3-hour show, so grab a beverage and get comfortable. If you have a topic you'd like us to talk about or a question for the cast, please post it in the chat room or on our Facebook page. Simply look for The Show with Clayton McKee on Facebook. We'll be starting the show in just a few minutes. We're just getting prepared, mixing cocktails and settling in for 3 hours of chat and some non-PC fun. From wherever you're listening or watching our show, let us know where in the world you are by posting in the chat room or hit us up on Facebook. Just look up The Show with Clayton McKee. At the beginning of hour 2 is when Al gives us our drinking word for the night. Grab a beverage and drink along with the cast as they get rolling. You found Q Talk America. Tonight's live broadcast will start at the top of the hour. We would tell you that this ain't your mom's radio station, but Clayton's mom listens every week. You found Q Talk America, home of The Show with Clayton McKee, Marnie Ryer, Kat Carlson, and Al Perkins. We will be starting tonight's broadcast at the top of the hour. By the way, we're a 3-hour show, so grab a beverage and get comfortable. If you have a topic you'd like us to talk about or a question for the cast, please post it in the chat room or on our Facebook page. Simply look for The Show with Clayton McKee on Facebook. We'll be starting the show in just a few minutes. We're just getting prepared, mixing cocktails and settling in for 3 hours of chat and some non-PC fun. From wherever you're listening or watching our show, let us know where in the world you are by posting in the chat room or hit us up on Facebook. Just look up The Show with Clayton McKee. the beginning of hour 2 is when Al gives us our drinking word for the night. Grab a beverage and drink along with the cast as they get rolling. You found Q Talk America. Tonight's live broadcast will start at the top of the hour. You found Q Talk America, home of The Show with Clayton McKee, Marnie Ryer, Kat Carlson, and Al Perkins. We will be starting tonight's broadcast at the top of the hour. By the way, we're a 3-hour show, so grab a beverage and get comfortable. If you have a topic you'd like us to talk about or a question for the cast, please post it in the chat room or on our Facebook page. Simply look for The Show with Clayton McKee on Facebook. We'll be starting the show in just a few minutes. We're just getting prepared, mixing cocktails and settling in for 3 hours of chat and some non-PC fun. From wherever you're listening or watching our show, let us know where in the world you are by posting in the chat room or hit us up on Facebook. Just look up The Show with Clayton McKee. At the beginning of hour 2 is when Al gives us our drinking word for the night. Grab a beverage and drink along with the cast as they get rolling. You found Q Talk America. Tonight's live broadcast will start at the top of the hour. We would tell you that this ain't your mom's radio station, but Clayton's mom listens every week. You found Q Talk America, home of The Show with Clayton McKee, Marnie Ryer, Kat Carlson, and Al Perkins. We will be starting tonight's broadcast at the top of the hour. By the way, we're a 3-hour show, so grab a beverage and get get comfortable. have a topic you'd like us to talk about or a question for the cast, please post it in the chat room or on our Facebook page. Simply look for The Show with Clayton McKee on Facebook. We'll be starting the show in just a few minutes. We're just getting prepared, mixing cocktails and settling in for 3 hours of chat and some non-PC fun. From wherever you're listening or watching our show, let us know where in the world you are by posting in the chat room or hit us up on Facebook. Just look up The Show with Clayton McKee. At the beginning of hour 2 is when Al gives us our drinking word for the night. Grab a beverage and drink along with the cast as they get rolling. You found Q Talk America. Tonight's live broadcast will start at the top of the hour. We would tell you that this ain't your mom's radio station, but Clayton's mom listens every week. You found Q Talk America, home of The Show with Clayton McKee, Marnie Ryer, Kat Carlson, and Al Perkins. We will be starting tonight's broadcast at the top of the hour. By the way, we're a 3-hour show, so grab a beverage and get comfortable. If you have a topic you'd like us to talk about or a question for the cast, please post it in the chat room or on our Facebook page. Simply look for The Show with Clayton McKee on Facebook. We'll be starting the show in just a few minutes. We're just getting prepared, mixing cocktails and settling in for 3 hours of chat and some non-PC fun. From wherever you're listening or watching our show, let us know where in the world you are by posting in the chat room or hit us up on Facebook. Just look up The Show with Clayton McKee. At the beginning of hour 2 is when Al gives us our drinking word for the night. Grab a beverage and drink along with the cast as they get rolling. You found Q Talk America. Tonight's live broadcast will start at the top of the hour. tell you that this ain't your mom's radio station, but Clayton's mom listens every week. You found Q Talk America, home of The Show with Clayton McKee, Marnie Ryer, Kat Carlson, and Al Perkins. We will be starting tonight's broadcast at the top of the hour. By the way, we're a 3-hour show, so grab a beverage and get comfortable. If you have a topic you'd like us to talk about or a question for the cast, please post it in the chat room or on our Facebook page. Simply look for The Show with Clayton McKee on Facebook. We'll be starting the show in just a few minutes. We're just getting prepared, mixing cocktails and settling in for 3 hours of chat and some non-PC fun. From wherever you're listening or watching our show, let us know where in the world you are by posting in the chat room or hit us up on Facebook. Just look up The Show with Clayton McKee. At the beginning of hour 2 is when Al gives us our drinking word for the night. Grab a beverage and drink along with the cast as they get rolling. You found Q Talk America. Tonight's live broadcast will start at the top of the hour. We would tell you that this ain't your mom's radio station, but Clayton's mom listens every week. You found Q Talk America, home of The Show with Clayton McKee, Marnie Ryer, Kat Carlson, and Al Perkins. We will be starting tonight's broadcast at the top of the hour. By the way, we're a 3-hour show, so grab a beverage and get comfortable. If you have a topic you'd like us to talk about or a question for the cast, please post it in the chat room or on our Facebook page. Simply look for The Show with Clayton McKee on Facebook. We'll be starting the show in just a few minutes. We're just getting prepared, mixing cocktails and settling in for 3 hours of chat and some non-PC fun. From wherever you're listening or watching our show, let us know where in the world you are by posting in the chat room or hit us up on Facebook. Just look up The Show with Clayton McKee. At the beginning of hour 2 is when Al gives us our drinking word for the night. Grab a beverage and drink along with the cast as they get rolling. You found Q Talk America. Tonight's live broadcast will start at the top of the hour. We would tell you that this ain't your mom's radio station, but Clayton's mom listens every week. You found Q Talk America, home of The Show with Clayton McKee, Marnie Ryer, Kat Carlson, and Al Perkins. We will be starting tonight's broadcast at the top of the hour. By the way, we're a 3-hour show, so grab a beverage and get comfortable.
Wherever you go. To the news, you can swing with the blues on this wonderful, wonderful station. Just take a lively companion wherever you go. Take a portable radio. Take a portable radio.
Now, here comes the music.
Here comes the music, here comes the chat. Ladies and gentlemen, we are fully operational, not affected by the government shutdown. It's Q Talk America coming to you, the average listener, live from Studio C in sunny, I almost said sunny Florida, sunny Phoenix, Arizona. The P sound, the PH sounds like an F. That threw me off.
Phoenix man forgets he doesn't live in Florida.
Good God. No, thank God we don't have the humidity or the hurricanes don't really affect us as much in Phoenix. However, we have had a lot of great days and rain in the past week, and I'm tired of it.
Me too.
Just tired of it.
Summer, bring it on.
The hell?
Rainy days and Mondays.
Nope.
Always
Or whatever day of the week. So if it's a rainy day, it's a Thursday. I'm still upset about it. My gosh, I moved out here to be sunny and balmy and...
Well, you just have to go stand in your lights. You'll be fine.
Oh, my carport. That's right. Kat Carlson is referring
Just
to my...
a little bit brighter than the sun.
Kat Carlson referring to my recently installed retaliatory carport lighting because, but like I said to you, I mean, though you get a brief suntan on the way into the house,
Yeah.
I
am developing quite the base tan.
I have yet to find that anybody who shouldn't be activating the lights doing so. So that's nice. My cats and the occasional car that goes by. But I'm waiting to see the lone bandit who shows up to try to
Well,
whatever.
I hope he's wearing stage makeup because that's spotlighted.
Yeah.
But I want to see them recoil in fear from the lights and run. But maybe
I just don't rob you because I don't want to be washed out by all the, you know what I mean?
Oh, yes. You're more worried about your camera time.
Yeah.
I understand.
Seriously, let's gotta have appropriate makeup to stand under that kind of lighting.
Valid. Well, it looks like we're going to have a full regular cast, which I don't think we've all been together fully, maybe since December sometime? November?
I
When
think
was
before
it?
Thanksgiving.
I think it was too.
So Marnie Ryer is on her way. So filling in the 25% of the cast that's not here will be here momentarily. It's exciting to find out.
We're currently
Otherwise,
symbolic of the government shutdown, though.
Yeah.
yeah, only a portion.
75% up and running.
But the-
25% not there yet.
Yeah, I was listening this morning to the news as I always do, and it really is interesting when you find out. Interesting. It's unfortunate, but yet interesting to find out. I guess it's the unintentional consequences. He had no real idea what he was holding out for and how those tentacles reach into so
president?
many different things. Like this whole, like all they're now saying is, now you got all these TSA agents and border agents who are either calling in because they can't go to work because they can't put fuel in their vehicles to get to work or whatever. So now all this border security that we had, now we have even less, and people could fly through and do whatever they want to do.
Yeah.
It's just, So there's your security, dumbass.
So if you're trying to smuggle something,
Now is be the time.
Now's the time.
Before they install lighting.
Put out the smuggle signal.
Yeah.
Get on it.
Oh, don't. They're not. They're already on it. You gotta know that. Well, even I guess during the while you were sleeping somewhere, the El Chapo trial has been going on, and he's been in court, and apparently some of the witnesses, or however that has gone, it came out that they literally say we're just driving the shit through the ports, like we're sneaking it through in trucks and cars wrapped in other food. Like
Sure.
a wall doesn't do shit.
The same way your grandma's smuggling her pot to go back to
Yeah.
Poughkeepsie for the summer. That's how
They're just
that's how
driving
they're
it
doing
around,
right.
so it doesn't matter. The wall,
And,
you can do shit. We know that.
The Port of LA.
Yeah.
They've been talking about that for years.
Sure.
The lack of security at the Port of LA.
You're talking about in San Pedro?
No, Los Angeles, California.
No, I know. Well, the Port of LA is San Pedro. It's where all the ships come in and the trafficking and the shipping. Are you talking about that? Or are you talking about, where are you talking about?
Yeah, whatever the Port of Los Angeles is, wherever everything comes into the Port of
Dear
Los Angeles.
Google.
That's San
unguarded.
Pedro. That's where the cruise ships all go in and out, all the shipping. Yeah, that's San Pedro. But I mean, it's LA, but that's what they call
Yeah.
it. But yeah, I'm sure they just ship it in, drive it through.
They've been saying it for years. It's completely unguarded.
Well, they were. Oh, I didn't realize the unguarded portion of the program. I thought
there's-
they just were. Nobody was really paying that close attention.
Well, I mean, sure, somebody's standing there, but they're like doing something else.
Next,
Yeah.
next. They're on. They're texting, tweeting, whatever they're doing. But no, they were describing apparently in court documents or in testimony today at that trial that they literally were saying, we have a special warehouse in Mexico. They would bring it in and they would put all of the stuff in the center of a pallet and put all of the actual peppers or honey or whatever the hell they're shipping
Coffee,
all around it.
all kinds of
It's all
crap.
shrink wrapped. It's all done up. Nobody knows, and it just rolls right through. Yeah, but like we've all known that, but to hear them admit that in court is also different because not adding to his little fight for this fucking wall he wants. But oh well, it's life.
What do you do?
Yeah, well,
It happens.
day 32. What is it? Are we 32 today or 32 tomorrow?
I think today's 32.
Good gosh. Well, anywho, on happier
The
notes,
saga continues.
Glad I didn't take that job with the VA.
I know.
Oh,
Well, no.
I didn't know that
is
was
VA down too?
I don't know.
I didn't know that had been an option for you at one point.
I'm honestly shamefully not sure what departments of the government aren't working.
Yeah, I don't either.
Oh.
I know they're fighting over Homeland Security. I know Nancy Pelosi says open the other agencies. I don't know what the other agencies
Secret
are.
Service is also one that's being limited.
But Secret Service is part of Homeland Security now.
Okay, so there's
Oh, they're
that.
not part of the Treasury anymore?
No,
That was always the fun
That was
part.
Patriot Act.
Oh, that's right. Move them. Yeah, that they were part of the Treasury.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of that,
Oh.
got my taxes done on Sunday.
Did
And
you?
the IRS is open, so they accepted my return
Yeah.
today.
That's nice.
Yeah,
I got the nice little text message saying, "Hey,
Hey, we got
we've
your shit.
received it. Good luck in getting it.
The check
No.
is in the mail.
No,
I
there's-
think that part's open."
They're supposed to. Yeah, that's
Direct
supposed
deposit.
to be.
We didn't have to
Oh,
go
no.
through that much.
We haven't done checks in
Click.
a long time either.
Very nice.
Oh.
That's
And
cool.
they've been using that same account for years.
Hopefully just inbound.
Yeah, you know the number.
Same time next year.
Okay, so the VA is being paid. I just worry, like,
If only there was a way to look. that
Air traffic
information up.
controllers also are affected by this. I assume TSA then is part of Homeland Security because they are affected. I'm not sure. Marnie actually, there's a very good chance Marnie probably would know more answers to that than probably anybody.
I'm gonna
All
have
of the different
answers
branches
to
of
very
government
much.
that are affected by this shutdown. All of the various. I do have a feeling that you're one of those people who might know. Maybe I'm wrong, but I felt like maybe you would.
I could make things up.
Okay, never
Oh,
mind then. All right, well,
Yeah. I'm not sure what you're.
Okay, so
we-
here it is. Here's a rundown of things that
stand by.
will
you
and
have-
won't be affected by a partial shutdown. Google has never let me down. What's still running? Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, the post office, the VA, food stamps, the military, the Mueller investigation, Border Patrol,
Hello.
Stand by. Are they mixing our metaphors? Am I just reading the headlines? Border security is at the heart of the shutdown fight, and much of the staffing for it is on track to remain intact, even in the face of a partial shutdown involving DHS funding. So they've got a little pool of money there for somewhere for
Because it
people
had
that are
already been
classified
funded
as
ahead of time.
essential. Well, no, they have. Every department has a certain pool of money for like emergency situations and things that they deem essential in a shutdown or an emergency. Some departments have bigger pools than others. Like the military has
Right.
so much money
An
just sitting
Olympic
around
size
waiting
pool.
around.
Yeah.
I heard somebody say something on the news today that I have been actually, to myself, I've thought about this very thing in regards to FBI investigations. Because, as we all know, when an undercover investigation is going on, things have been planned for months and weeks and, all this stuff, and there's a payoff and there's something going on, all these things that happen. Well, I was thinking to myself, well, all of these things that are covert operations happening, what happens when all of a sudden, the guy that's supposed to make the purchase or the sale or whatever's going to happen, all of a sudden we're like, oh, we can't put gas in the car to go make the sale. Or the cash drop that's supposed to happen all of a sudden can't because we can't get you the cash. So
Suddenly, Fred and Velma show up and they pull the mask off of him and they say, "Aha!"
Right. It was.
If it weren't for you meddling kids.
Right. But that's one of the
Suddenly it's a
one of
Scooby-Doo
the
Meddling
mystery.
Trumpian.
one of the FBI people on MSNBC, they was saying that very thing. They're like, all of a sudden we are starting to run into all of these, investigations where all of a sudden we don't know if we're going to be able to pull this off. So months and months or years of, setups and money and investigation all will be blown.
And how many people are in danger?
Right.
Because of
Sure.
that kind of thing.
Sure. Yeah. So it's a little odd with all that bullshit, but it'd just be so nice if we could find a way to eliminate him and just move on with this all.
I know
but
I don't have my little headphones
Well,
on yet,
you know,
but I understood that they were
no, it's an echo. It's a very long
it's
echo.
a long echo.
It's a big canyon.
That they're talking about going on strike tomorrow.
Who's
lots
this?
of the people.
Yeah.
I
I heard that too. That
Yeah.
there's going to be a big.
Like
those
it-
that are there are going to go on strike.
Yeah.
Or they were talking about it. I didn't know where it went. 'cause-
Well-
Well, because they're going to miss their second paycheck this week.
Sure, yeah.
Right.
Oh,
And,
yeah,
well,
Friday.
and I just find it just absurd. We want to build a wall for security, and yet people can come in and out of our airports because
Right.
we would have
Nobody's there.
no one there,
That's
and or
potentially,
people that
yeah.
are like, what the fuck ever? I'm not getting paid for this shit.
No.
yeah.
Man, it looks good. Stand.
I know Tim is coming the end of this week, and I told him, I'm like, just fly, and he's like, I'm not flying when there's no TSA. Like,
Yeah, I think
he
there'll be a
hates
lot more
flying to
Is he
driving.
going to Greyhound his way here? How is he going to come in?
Hi,
He's
Mom
gonna
and Dad.
drive in late
Hey, Joe.
January from Colorado to here.
Oh, well, at least he's.
I find that ill-advised, but
Well, once he
Perhaps
gets
you're biased.
but we'll find it. We'll find out when he gets here.
once he gets past Flagstaff
Arab
on his
man,
way.
caravan. I mean, the choices they all rhyme, but they're limitless.
Railway.
Yeah.
Yeah, all that stuff. Hello, Mom. She's in there as well. And yeah, of course, Joe said Larry Poppins has arrived.
Larry Poppins.
Hey!
That was very funny. Marn, we were saying earlier, just before you arrived, that this is the first time that all four of us have been together as
I know.
one.
I'm not ignoring you. I was
Avoiding me,
not trying to
honestly.
avoid
Like,
you.
you're always
I
ignoring
was
me,
not.
avoiding
Well,
me,
always.
perhaps.
That
I will not be ignored, Dan.
super fair point. All right, that's true.
Yeah.
But no, I was not avoiding. I promise.
Which
Promise.
is funny the way that worked out.
I know.
Yeah.
I was like, sorry.
Funny.
I mean,
Sorry, it'd be sad if something happened to
Our
her.
biannual meeting.
thanks everyone. for coming.
Yeah.
Good
See
job.
you in
good
July.
Well
I feel like today though Doug Wilkie is somewhere in the valley feeling ignored or
Yes.
left out because he didn't
Hello,
get
villainess.
Didn't
Doug Wilkie has the night off.
a call or a text.
He's at home like, thank God.
Right.
Oh, who
Sick
knows?
of talking to these fools.
Yeah.
Well, guess what? He'll be here next week because it's
Allegedly,
already
yeah,
scheduled.
That's true.
What's next week?
Cat's gone.
Oh, I see.
As I said,
Are you avoiding
I'm avoiding
me?
you.
exactly our biannual meeting.
No, my parents will be in town, so I've
very
chosen to
nice.
spend the time with them instead of you.
Well,
I hope you understand. If not, well,
touche.
It was a
Yeah.
coin cost. It was
No,
a coin toss.
It might be interesting to have the parents come in and join us.
Well, I think we've discussed that before.
well, the,
Like, a
the
couple
problem
years
is my
ago.
mother's listened to the show and went, nope.
Nope.
Well, then bring your
I'm good.
dad.
Yeah.
Let mom stay
He
at home.
he doesn't know yet.
oh, okay. Father is ignorant
Father
to
doesn't know best yet.
our. Right, okay, got
Hey,
it.
Nero, welcome aboard.
My
Hi,
God.
Nero.
Oh, well,
Knitting or
Been
crocheting?
forever.
for the first time in a while for the original cast.
Knitting,
Or not
I
the
think.
original, the
Knitting
current,
a scarf.
The current.
Last
full
I
cast,
saw.
not
Yeah.
original. I can never say original cast because
Everything
Buddy
was
and
beautiful.
Buddy's gone.
I thought Buddy might show up at the Oscar nominations. There was a threat.
Oh,
Did he mention it?
well,
Buddy Early.
he
come
didn't
over.
reach out. I'd be more than happy. We got a place at the table for him. My
Just
God,
photobomb the motherfucker.
sure.
Yeah.
So-
We should
Come
get
on
cardboard cutouts of these people.
Oh, and it's
Yeah.
Nero's birthday.
My
Happy
God.
birthday.
Oh, happy birthday. Now, is it today or tomorrow?
It's tomorrow.
Because they're in
For us-
tomorrow.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
They're-
Today and
Nero's
tomorrow
from
and
the
tomorrow and
future.
today.
Good on you.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Nero's
Good
from the
on you.
future.
Nero's from the future.
Proud of you.
Oh, I didn't know if you were going to catch that part.
Totally
I
caught
thought
it.
maybe it was just part of the guess
Yeah.
of like, oh, they live in tomorrow. I don't know.
No.
See? Well, way to
done.
work your pronouns.
There
I
you go.
like it very much.
Ms.
Happy birthday, honey.
Ms. Carlson, what have you been up to?
Well, I might be Jesus.
Oh.
Wow.
Take off your shoes. I
I know.
need to see your feet.
Wow.
Is that what
I
that
don't
means when
see
you've got
any
the
holes in your
stigmata?
hands.
Yeah.
That's the stigmata.
Oh.
That means that you're
Yeah.
Jesus again?
Yeah.
Maybe.
I can see it from here.
I don't see
I
any
know.
holes in your
I've got some
hand
sort
yet.
of some sort of an odd puncture in the palm of my
Okay.
hand.
Oh, yeah. that is
Let's see your
stigmata.
feet. Let's see your feet.
Wow.
You know,
No.
I'm just
Let's-
saying
let's-
because, like, if you don't have any holes in your feet,
We're
then,
in polite company.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Polite
Not
company. Well,
Jesus.
doesn't it start with just one? Isn't it something that progresses like the
and then you're
chicken
like,
pox?
like bleeding.
Like, oh my God,
I
there's
don't
one, and
remember.
then, oh my God, there's another one.
After
Yeah.
they stopped burning me for being a witch, I didn't follow it through the crucifixions and the other things.
Yeah, I'm not
I
really sure.
ended the tour in
Yeah.
drownings and burnings.
I meant to Google earlier today what does stigmata actually like
Right.
symbolize or mean. I don't really know, but I
The
think it means
devil.
that I'm Jesus.
No,
I'm
You're
kidding.
welcome. You're
I'm
welcome.
Oh, my.
Yeah,
Nice.
I'll be
Okay.
blessing everyone.
Scion, isn't that how you pronounce that or something?
I have a feeling a couple people would like to talk to you about some wine issues
Yeah,
they've got.
right.
So
I
don't
can
give me any
always
fish,
provide
I
some
just
wine.
want-
I mean, of all the
Yeah.
tricks that one was famous for, that had to
That's
be
the
my
good
favorite. That's the good
Yeah.
one. That is useful.
I don't-
that
you
waking
know-
up from the dead thing, no, but the wine really got me.
Because the fish sandwiches, I don't get it.
And don't teach me how to fish. I don't.
Yeah,
I'm
no.
not getting the license. I don't want to follow the
No.
rules.
Yeah, but
Just
we-
save your water because I'm
Yeah.
going to turn $5 into wine for
There you
is
go.
what I'm gonna
Oh,
do.
there you
Oh.
go.
It'll be $2 cat
Yeah.
$2 cat.
instead of
First
Chuck.
time she's heard that.
Maybe.
I mean, it's been not recently.
That used to be her nickname. I
Yeah.
don't know.
Well,
To her
inflation.
credit, it's not a recent nickname.
Suddenly, I'm not sad about missing next week.
Notice.
Suddenly, it'll be a nice break.
I'll be with people who like me and treat me well. Or your parents.
Or
Well,
my parents. Right.
Mom and dad, whatever.
Choices.
It's hard to say.
That's funny.
Other than that, I don't think
Welcome.
I have terribly big news. I bought.
You led with Jesus.
I know. Like
kinda
it
feel
all
like-
went downhill from there.
Yeah. I mean,
Since
really, where do you
discovering I
go
was
from
Jesus-
there?
Since discovering I was Jesus.
I mean, happy
everything's
birthday
paled
last
in
month
comparison.
twice.
Right.
Stretching that
Oh.
33 thing a little long, aren't you?
Yeah. Right.
Is 33 a metaphor for something? Or, no?
Yeah. Jesus, threes,
Oh.
all of it. And he was 33 when he died, and supposedly,
Allegedly.
allegedly.
That's I don't.
He would have
even-
been in a better group if it been 27, because isn't that when all the big rock stars all died?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hendrix, Joplin,
Yeah,
Morrison,
yeah.
we're all 27. Is that right?
Yeah.
Missed it by.
Oh, wait,
Hendrix,
what's- and
Hendrix
what's
and
her
I
butt?
share a birthday. Just a little tidbit.
What's her butt was 27 too? Amy Winehouse.
JFK as well.
She got on that
J-
train.
Junior,
Like,
Junior,
wow.
Junior.
Oh, by the way,
Sorry.
the Lincoln that he was in is currently here in town at the Barrett Jackson car auction.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the Lincoln that he was assassinated in is there.
Wow.
They leave the bullet holes.
Did they show
I
the,
was wondering
the
about.
bullet?
I was wondering about that because didn't one go through the back
Yeah,
seat
I-
of the So well, no.
Unless
But
they replaced
it's
it.
theirs and there's pictures all around it.
Wow.
I think they pretty much cleaned it up though.
That's
Yeah,
kinda
I think
morbid.
so. I feel like, yeah, that's true. So there's nothing like on the bumper.
But I'm wondering. I doubt it.
Just say.
I would.
More the trunk.
Just asking. It was on the bumper. She reached over on the bumper.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But I guess I don't know how the world works with regards to things like that. But I'm guessing somehow that got sold and out of the hands of people before they realized, oh, we probably should keep this, because that seems to me like that should be in a JFK library or that should be in some sort of a museum for
what
not just.
probably happened is the government finished their investigation and eventually closed that case, and then they just auctioned it off.
No, I get that, but I was thinking
And or
somebody
there
bought
was a
it.
shutdown and they just needed the money.
I just needed the money.
You don't know. You
Yeah,
never
and it
know.
probably wasn't
Yeah.
something that anyone thought about as like. 'cause-
right back then.
Yeah.
Yeah, because now I don't think any of
Because who would buy a dead president's car? It's
I would.
unthinkable.
Well, all of the cars now, because of the technology,
JFK's, I would.
they're all disassembled and destroyed. Like all of the limos and all the stuff now that happens,
Yeah.
it's all just gotten rid of.
That is odd. So who's got it?
I don't know who the collector is, but it's at Barrett Jackson right now.
Okay.
Not for sale, just it's on
Right.
display.
It's on display.
Sure.
No.
That
There's
is
a
weird.
there's a tall lady with a pink pillbox hat standing next to it.
But then you gotta wonder, like, do you fix the bullet hole or do you leave the bullet
I would
hole?
say you
I
leave
would leave
it.
it.
Yeah, I would. I mean, that's what I would say too. But then, is that a little ghoulish? Like,
No, because then
I
you,
don't think
I mean, the value of the car would go down because then you're changing out the original upholstery.
oh,
True.
That's what
Can't-
I
Oh my God, they had the hearse there like 7 years ago,
Oh,
2012.
yeah, I don't know.
so somebody dropped the ball and sold that.
No, right, they did.
Yeah,
and
somebody let that out the
And the
back
same
door.
thing happened years ago. Not to equate JFK and
those, I don't know
Elvis
who
at
did it.
all,
Right.
but back in the day, that Graceland was doing that when they were hurting for money many years ago, like in the late 70s, early 80s. They were selling off cars and various things that Elvis owned to keep the estate up and going.
Yeah,
And
you-
then now they're tracking stuff back down, and they've been buying stuff back over the past 20 years.
And you know who turned that around? Priscilla, for
yeah,
the daughter.
yeah.
Priscilla took over that estate and got that into shape because it was the daughter's money.
Well, and she also knew that it was also her living. Like Priscilla, what else?
Right, but I mean, it all went to
Lisa Marie, sure.
Lisa Marie, but she took that
No,
over.
you are correct.
I mean,
in that.
she probably gave herself a paycheck at some point, but
Yeah, she was on the board.
that was for her daughter. Like, she was making sure, like,
She knew.
yeah, I'm not raising one of those kids. So, Marina, what'd you do?
I've done a couple things.
You have.
Yeah.
Do you remember either of them?
I remember some of them. Yeah.
By the way, I still want to tell you, your hair looks good. I'm
Thank
real.
you.
I like
very
you've
nice.
cut it. It's
Thank
lovely.
you.
I'm very happy with it. The color selection is nice. I feel natural.
Similar.
I feel it's natural.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's natural.
It's very similar to mine.
Salt, pepper.
Yeah.
Like it. Yeah, I got a little clippers. Little clippers got out. Maybe I'll go a little bit different because I know, like, from the front, it just looks the same, right? Like,
No,
kinda-
I think it does not.
No?
No,
Well, thank you.
I think, I
you
think it's
are
more
one
off
of
to-
two people that have noticed that my hair is different. So, thank you.
Yeah.
I do appreciate
Was
that.
the other one a gay man or was it
No,
not?
actually,
Because I'm hopeful.
no. It was my mom. So similar.
Oh,
but,
good.
you
Well,
know.
Mom, she's as
close,
close to
yeah,
you as
yeah.
yeah. I mean, if
True.
I change something, my mom notices too.
Yeah.
But that's about it.
Yeah, but I totally get that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I did that and bought a new vehicle.
Yeah.
Oh, congratulations.
I
What'd we-
did.
Where'd we
Yeah,
land?
I got a 2018 Nissan Rogue.
She's gone rogue.
I've gone Rogue.
I thought the
Yeah.
same thing. I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, we're gonna be able to work that for a while.
Ryer got Rogue.
Yeah.
Okay, gone Rogue.
Oh no, I was just gonna equate you to what's her name?
Oh, Sarah Palin.
Yes, Palin.
No.
She's real,
No.
she's real shitty at an
Bachman?
interview.
Would you prefer
No,
Bachman?
no, my God. Do you mean Marcus? Thanks.
Yeah,
Okay. If you mean Marcus,
No, I meant
okay.
Scott Palin,
Oh, right.
the gay
There
one.
is I was gonna say there's no one with a normal name in that family. Yeah. So
It's beautiful.
I got that. Yeah. It's her name is Pearl
Oh, Pearl.
It's the same
Yeah.
color as your car.
because
Oh.
it's Pearl.
It's a like a pearl.
They kept telling me
flake.
it's not white, it's Pearl, and I'm like, fine, I'll name her Pearl.
No,
it's fine.
it's a beautiful color.
Yeah. Thank
Mine
you.
glistens like a vampire.
Oh, nice.
What
Yeah.
that really
Kind of like
means.
that.
Because
I
mine has
don't
like
know.
a mother of pearl over the white that
Okay.
if it's clean on the right shiny
Right,
sunny
in
day,
the
it's-
day,
yeah.
sure.
I'm like, oh, she glistens.
No, you know what, Joe? I did not get a Subaru. I was, I really did think that would be where I would go and get
That's-
another Subaru and
When she pulled up here the other
Now, did
day,
the lesbian conference?
everyone. Well, they've taken my card, but that's fine.
You
As the spokesperson for lesbians.
Yes.
well, when I walked,
card.
when she drove by the other day, I was walking out the driveway and it was dark. I really couldn't tell what it was,
Yeah.
and I'm like, "Is it a Subaru?" She's like, "No,
No.
because that's the first thing I thought."
Yeah. Well, and I had looked. It was between a Rogue and the newer Forester, and I
You're
just,
just done foresting?
I really like this, and I had, God forbid, but I had enough. Yes, I'm done foresting. I had enough
There's
with.
been a deforestation at Warren's house.
If you rake the floor,
Yeah, that's not.
Jenny.
Let's leave all of these things alone.
Yeah, exactly.
wow, I
she
did not
pulled
mean
out
that.
the carpet, deforested the area.
I did not mean that as a
There's a
sexual
lot of
metaphor.
ways for that to
We're
go.
letting this one.
We
go.
went all
Wow.
of them.
Anyway, yes. What-
I was here for just the pure pun. I really wasn't
Yeah.
going for the double entendre.
Good Lord. But yeah, and it was I think a really good deal. They kept trying to tell me, I was telling Clayton that they kept trying to, the young guy who was selling it to me kept going on and on. It's the midnight package, and it's this, and it's that, and he just is going on, and he's like, look here, and this, and I was like, what?
I don't care.
Does it fucking run? Like,
Yeah.
what, am I going to have to put 4 catalytic converters in it in the next 6 years? Am I going to have to? And that's why I stayed away from Subaru, just because of so many problems, like, toward the end.
That's something you can put
They
into
still
a car?
make catalytic converters?
Apparently.
Yeah.
I didn't know that was a thing that was still in cars.
Yeah.
Well,
Alright.
Every car made.
It sounds
Definitely
it sounds
in my
really old, so I
Subaru.
didn't know.
yeah, definitely.
Would it
in
be
my
an
Subaru.
electric car?
Not in an electric car because
So
it
it's not in every car made.
See?
that-
Oh, technicality.
Wow.
Jesus approves.
There we have it. So I did
It's a
that,
tough room.
and
Get off the cross.
we need the wood.
You only
I
had
got
time to
this
put
from? I
one
got
nail
that
in, yeah.
You put one nail.
Can't even
You had
commit.
one job.
If I had a hammer.
Yeah. Oh.
And the only other thing, I figure y'all fucking know everything about me and my life and everybody in the chat room. So
don't.
why not?
We don't know everything.
Well, you will in
I
a
think
minute.
we're about to, yeah.
Wow, I'm not sure where this is
Buckle
going.
up.
I
Yeah,
think it's a good thing. I think it's something that's been known for a very long time.
Are you coming out? 'Cause
yeah.
we knew.
Yeah.
It actually kind of is very similar to I just compared this to my my coming out story just yesterday.
Why do I feel like I know where this
Are
is
we changing
going?
your
No.
pronouns?
I feel
No.
like I know where
Okay.
this is
No.
going. No, God, no, I would know.
No.
She's been
No,
through
no,
enough
no.
surgeries. She doesn't
I
like
mean, I
hospice.
had the reduction, but it's different.
Well, that and the other time when you were in the hospital,
Right,
nobody
right,
knew what
right.
was wrong with you.
Exactly. Yeah. Ugh.
It's not always surgery.
I have a feeling I know where this is going, but
So I went. I decided to make some different changes. And like in November, beginning of November, I started going and chatting with somebody, psychologist person, and then
I thought we were going.
and
Sounding more and more trans every minute.
and
Yeah.
and decided that for years and years and years I have joked, and we're about I don't know 42-ish years late in this, but I've joked about the whole ADHD kind of thing for a very long time. Undiagnosed ADHD, blah blah blah, and it really, and I don't want to cry, so forgive me. I didn't think I would. It started to really affect everything in the last couple of years, for sure. Even more than started to affect my job, my relationship. That's why I was doing so much, like with having to not be here and having to focus on work, because I had really kind of jacked that up quite a
Oh.
bit. And, just spinning, like truly drowning and spinning. And so I just last Saturday started medication for ADHD stuff.
Well, very good.
And I'm excited about it, as silly as that might sound. But to just kind of, when I finally said something at work, mainly because I had to, it was the biggest relief of anything I've said in I don't know how long. I mean,
Oh, wow, good for you.
my shoulders just fell, and I was like, and I thought, whatever the consequences are, I just don't care anymore. I don't care, because I'm literally running in circles. And it felt like someone had, kind of bound my ankles to where run.
But not in the fun way.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. But run.
Still
and
double entendreing
yes,
there.
I do appreciate it.
We talked about humor as a delivery
Yeah,
method. Like,
yeah.
we did.
We do like that, and it's a good thing. So, yeah. So
Well, that's certainly nothing to be ashamed of.
no, I think that it's I think it is a big thing, but it really was very much like a coming out story.
Yeah,
the
and it's one
other
thing
day.
to joke about stuff and another thing
Right.
to, like, just say, I need help. Like,
Right.
that's very good.
Right.
for you.
Now, are,
So.
the medications different for adults treatment
I
and
don't
children treatment?
Think so.
Because what would be the common for? Is it Ritalin for children?
Well, Ritalin is used quite a bit, but Adderall is another one that's used quite often. And I'm excited. The reason I'm excited about this, granted, it's been 4 days, and it's not like I feel different or something, but
She wasn't
There-
on time, so it didn't
I
help.
no,
Neither
no.
the new card helped
Actually,
Is that how we're gonna know if it's working?
give it another couple weeks. Let's not rush
It's a
things.
pill,
folks.
not a miracle.
Let's not rush things, folks. Come
Not
on.
a schedule, for
Come
God's
on.
sakes.
Let's not rush things,
Your
folks.
powers as Jesus might work better.
Um,
I was gonna close this conversation with Jesus. I was gonna say Jesus loves
Conversation's not over yet.
this I know. For Cat Carlson tells me so.
It's true.
This bitch tells me.
You had one job.
Healing. I'm just
So yeah. Anyway, it's I we'll see. The medication is something. So they have like the stimulant medications, right? And that's like the Adderall kind of stuff in it.
Adderall, Ritalin. They're all just
Really
speed.
kind of
Yeah,
gets you going. And I don't want that. Right? I mean, like,
Right, I was just wondering, like, because I know that the effects on children are different than the effects on adults.
right. But they have children on Adderall. They have adults on Adderall, depending on the situation. I think Adderall is used for folks that may have more of a dual diagnosis kind of thing. I think
That could be.
because it makes sense that if somebody has anxiety or trouble sleeping or
Right.
or things like this, maybe don't give them a stimulant. Maybe
Right.
that's not going to be effective. This is the first non-stimulant one, non-stimulant medication, I believe, and it's the Strattera.
And
I'm sure there's a commercial on MSNBC about it every other minute.
and I've actually seen a commercial, so and it confused me, but it's for everything that I've seen is primarily for ADHD. So
Yeah.
and neuro ADHD in adults. So it's called Strattera. I'm on the generic of it.
I'm on WebMD right now. We're gonna find
yeah.
this out. We're gonna solve
And
this.
it's called a atomoxetine or something like this is the generic. And it's the lowest dose right now, and they'll just kind of work because they don't. It was very, very interesting. You know how I've been in here before, and I've had to stand up because I'm like my legs are kicking,
oh, the
and
restless leg, yeah.
and I have such horrible. I've talked. We can't go to shows unless it's so it becomes a social
'Cause
issue
now
as well.
You always have to sit on the end in case you have to get up and walk out.
I have to be on the end, or I have to be like when you and Buddy and Aaron and I went to see
Fleetwood Mac.
Fleetwood Mac and whatever, like to be in the way back.
Right.
So even if I'm not in on the end, I can still get up and move around, and so it becomes a hindrance. It becomes a problem, and oddly, so I'm pre the hysterectomy stuff. They had me go on to Loxetine, which is the generic of Cymbalta, because of domino effect, right? How crazy Depo would make me
Right,
when I
yeah.
needed to get to my shot. And because I had given up Depo, they said, here,
Oh, I
let's
forgot
do-
about the shots.
yeah. So
Wow.
because of how insane that kind of got, they wanted to do a balancer and have me
Right,
on
and
the
then
Cymbalta.
with all that going on, how would you be able to know if anything else was happening when you're dealing with all
Right.
that hormonal stuff? Like, how would you even know that? And I'm also not paying attention to you.
Right, exactly. Yeah. Well, and you know the other piece is that I had been thrown into perimenopause from the time I was 22.
Right. So I mean,
which-
there's your dual diagnosis. That's
Right.
tough.
And so there's all this kind of weird shit, and oddly, the Duloxetine or Cymbalta, one of the primary side effects, didn't, God forbid I read about it, is restless leg. So because he said, well, how long ago was it that started? Do you think? And I was not even. Thanks, Mama Di. I was not even
Oh.
thinking about it, and I said, I don't know, probably like 3-4 years ago, maybe 5-ish. And he said, huh, when did you start Cymbalta?
Oh no, 3-5 years ago.
Yeah.
Wow.
And
Wow.
so then, domino effect, they put you on pramipexole because you have restless leg. And pramipexole is a
Anti-restless leg.
kind of, but it's a Michael J. Fox has
Parkinson's.
It's a Parkinson's drug.
Oh, because restless leg can be considered like a Parkinsonian, like
Right.
a
Central nervous system
pyramidal,
kind
whatever
of.
they call it.
So
There's a
you
fancy
keep
word
going.
for
He's
that.
like, do you really want to be on all these medications?
No.
So
Then you get your favorite drag name, Polypharmacy. All of a sudden you're shitting your pants and
Right.
asleep in traffic.
right, and it really that was Tuesday of last week. That's why I wasn't here. But
I'm guessing.
So just anybody out there, kind of a little PSA. If you're on that, I didn't even think about that kind of stuff. And why pay attention? God forbid.
Well, because you have ADHD, so you can't read the pamphlet.
Right. I'm not going to sit down and read that thing. So, exactly. I can't focus on
Vicious
this.
circle.
There's so
Vicious
much
circle.
happening. Somebody tell me. So,
So then my follow-up
but everyone,
question.
please pay attention to that kind of stuff because it's a really big. There's no reason for me. The Cymbalta, or the Duloxetine, the Pramipexole, those will be going away. But not right away.
Right, yeah, you gotta
Right?
taper off.
So we'll taper off of those, and then see from there. Do you need this? Do you need whatever? We'll see what that looks like. But
So, and I
God, I
don't know
hope
about
so.
ADHD, but like, is any kind of counseling involved with that? Because that's not something that you can just
Thanks, Joe.
get over, right?
Say that one more time.
Like, is
I'm
there?
not paying attention.
Yeah.
Well, she was reading something else.
I
You were
was.
paying
I
attention to
really
something
was.
else. I
I'm
think
like-
that's progress.
Yeah,
Thank God for Shatera.
yeah, and reading it backwards, that's dyslexia.
They said I could focus on one thing.
Can't multitask, but you can focus on one thing.
Because I don't think that ADHD falls into one of those mind over matter. Does any kind of like counseling go along with this?
Yeah,
Or
that's why they.
is it used as like a treatment, or is like a monitor the drugs and make sure you're not driving yourself crazy with new drugs?
So you have the monitor the drugs because it's not just a matter of throwing drugs at things. When I started in November, like I said, I started with just chatting with somebody, and he does not prescribe.
Okay.
The guy that I'm going
So like
to.
a psychologist.
Right.
Okay.
And so it was one of the steps to try to find out, because if I can stay away from medication, I'd prefer to.
Sure.
Right.
No matter what.
I agree.
And so we've chatted for the last couple months, and I just thought, you know what, I don't see this being this is lovely, and he's a lovely man to chat with.
Right.
But yep, that's about it. And so they try to do. God bless him. God bless him.
Well, sometimes
He's
you have
trying
to know,
do
like,
meditation stuff with me, right?
Right.
Like he wants me to.
find your inner peace. Yeah.
You can't even focus on that.
Fuck you. No, I have too many other things to do.
God rest his leg. I should meditate.
Damn it. I'm sitting here focusing on that, and I'm not listening to my breathing. I'm like, I have this and this and this. It's like taking a bath. What the hell am I going to take a bath for? Relax? No.
Oh,
So
Sitting in
But-
your own soup. I think
yeah,
it's gross.
swimming
but I don't
in
take
your own
baths either.
swill. Swimming in your own swill.
making gravy
So
over
I
there.
don't
I
know what you
figured-
people do in the bathtub. None of those things are true.
I figured that we could at some point put this up and try
ADHD
to
bingo.
play ADHD bingo.
I love bingo.
God, I fucking
Okay.
roared at this.
And did you see Nero learning to tell people you're not listening to them is a big step.
Honey, we
You're
already
right.
knew.
You're right.
We already
Well,
knew.
But see, that's what I meant by the coming out story.
Wow.
Right? When because I remember when I came out to my girlfriends back home, they were just like, yeah, and
Right.
it's the same kind of
You're
concept.
getting the
as
same
this.
response?
Well, and I get it, but it's still that same kind of defeating thing of, I know, but I'm admitting it. Like not admitting being gay
Wow,
or whatever.
I
But
really made it through the bingo card pretty quickly.
what do you mean?
In my head.
Meaning what? Like you rang every bell?
Here, do you have one for all of us? Or
Yeah,
just
well,
share?
no, I needed to make more copies, but I didn't want to be later.
So
Choices. Choices.
I'll read them aloud.
Yeah,
Must shake
let's.
leg. I don't have that one.
No, I do.
Needing to climb everything. No.
No.
Sensory overload meltdown on the daily.
No.
Talking too fast. Are you listening to me?
Right now.
Pen clicking.
Yes, I have that
No,
one.
I
yeah.
I have that one. I do
Yeah.
it constantly.
Well, I sit here the
don't.
entire show. I'm always. This is what I do the entire show
sure,
here.
sure.
I'm not clicking, but I'm always I'm messing and
with
doing
something,
right.
right.
I
Yeah.
do click. I do
No, no.
this. Yeah.
Especially if I'm thinking. I'm clicking it a
Can't
lot of
think
times.
too
I'm like,
hungry. I did that one not at
Say
all.
that one again.
Can't think too hungry.
Yeah, I don't have the hangry kind of thing.
Yeah.
Nope.
Every once in a while, and I think it's more to do with like vitamins and coffee on an empty stomach that I'm like, nah, I got to eat or I'm going to vomit on somebody.
Okay, sure.
I'm sorry, what? That's me like 24 hours a day. I think people think that's my first name.
Right.
Or it's what I think their first name is. Because all I do is say to people, I'm sorry, what are you saying?
Oh.
Because I
Yeah.
come in like midway through, I come in from a glaze into like,
Oh, wait,
that
somebody's
felt,
talking to me.
That
Somebody's
felt really
talking to me.
important. Yeah.
Panic.
The bomb goes off at what time? Needing to touch everything? Yeah. Needing to touch everything that comes and goes.
Yeah.
What did I come in this room for?
No.
Oh, that's on the daily.
Yeah.
But is that age? Like, there were things
Right.
about this that I'm like, is that just age? Is that whatever? But yeah.
Trying to
I
do
think it's all
work,
of
but
it.
there's a cat. Mine is trying to
What?
do work, but there's IMDb.
There's a cat.
Right. There's a
Shiny?
cat.
Is that like
Some
shiny?
shiny.
Some
Yeah,
shiny.
yeah,
All right.
yeah.
Mine is IMDb.
Yeah.
Must rub
Or-
things
or
on my
cat
face.
videos.
Yeah.
All
Must
day
rub
long.
things on face. Let me show you how I made it through high school. I just used to sit there with
Oh.
pens and like draw on my, and I could still do it because it feels fantastic. And just like draw
Okay.
on my face, and then it gets to be so much that I have to like etch a sketch it and
Yeah.
erase it.
Yeah.
But
Oh
I
my
do
God,
that
I love that.
all the
Etch-a-sketch
time.
it.
It just tingles.
Yeah.
I love that.
I
feeling.
do.
Yeah.
I,
See, I do
that
that
with
with
my
my
fingers. I just do
arms,
that with
though.
my fingers.
I do
I'll just
that.
sit there and do that like that.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's relaxing. I may be completely wrong.
Yeah.
I feel like it's relaxing, and then I'll do that thing you just
Yeah.
rub your face, and
Yeah,
it
you
just
gotta
feels good.
etch-a-sketch
I like that
It-
etch-a-sketch.
But it feels like you're releasing like a stress when you do it. To
Yeah.
me.
I like that with
Stop
with
it! I don't
my
need your. I don't
arms.
need your fuck
Your
Jesus.
Jesus time. What is sleep?
What a sleep.
Yeah.
Oh, hello.
I got some questions
Yeah,
on that one.
yeah.
Hyper focus on the wrong
Guilty.
thing. That's my entire life.
Well,
Exactly.
now Nero said something about that. Also, remember there's a flip side to ADHD, giving no focus. You can also be hyper focused at times.
Oh yeah.
And that's what with hyper focusing, it's then you just lose track too much of the other stuff.
Yeah.
And for me, I'm going to hyper focus on the things that don't matter.
The least
Yeah.
important things is what you're most worried about.
Right. And all of a sudden I'll be like, why am I? Well, I'll be a son of a bitch.
Yeah.
I gotta get that done.
Yeah.
And
Why
but
am I 15 hours behind on that one
why
thing
am
I
I
had to
not
do?
hyper focusing
Suddenly,
on
the
that?
spice cabinet needs to be organized immediately.
Yeah.
Okay, we're giving this to Jenny. Jenny wins the internet tonight. I
do
do
that
that
to
on
my
my
nipples,
nipples,
yeah.
but that's a whole different thing.
So hyper focus on the wrong thing. Yeah, that's kind of
Yeah.
spacing out. Yeah.
Well, and procrastination, right? Like to be able to.
Why do
when
today
you're,
what I can easily put off till tomorrow?
But that would be that hyper focus.
I might get hit by a bus tomorrow and not have to do it at all.
yeah, I can.
Yeah.
I could be dead and it will be relinquished. 200 unfinished projects. No, because I would never sign up for 200 projects.
200 unfinished projects
Yeah.
right here.
The reason I have no unfinished projects is because I say no to everything.
Is there a good number of unfinished projects? Like if you've got less than 10, less than 5, like are we going? Is there a range here?
I think it's a
I
sliding
honestly
scale.
don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, I
Could
do,
be.
I do
Sure,
too. Like
sure.
200 real bad, 7 maybe okay.
That's what I'm going for.
If they're in progress.
Yeah.
I'd like to
Oh,
know. I'd like to know
You
the arc.
occasionally
How are
think
they
about
moving
that
along?
unfinished
How are they
Right.
moving along? Right.
Is project number 1 12 years ago?
I mean,
When
my
you're having to
project.
touch everything, do you touch that project
Yeah.
sometimes?
Right.
Oh, we have to move the project over here because I need to do something else
Counts.
right now.
That super
or
counts.
is what you're moving the cat, right? Because
Right.
oh look, a cat. You know.
See,
You
now
don't-
mine
you don't
would-
live with
mine
my
doesn't
cat,
help with my
listen.
bingo, but here comes depression goes on hyper focus on the wrong thing.
Okay.
Because I'll do the hyper focus on the wrong thing because I don't want to dwell on the real problem that's coming.
'Kay.
So that's my whole like self-inflicted made up shit this last year. I'm going to focus on something that has nothing to do with what needs to be dealt with, and then get depressed about that because if we go over there, I'm going to fall off a fucking cliff.
Right,
So
right.
we're going to get super worked up about this minor incident
Right.
and act like this is the
Yeah.
global catastrophe.
Because it's safer.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's
I-
also how the Republican Party runs right now.
Yeah, it really is. Drink some coffee, I'll fall asleep. and-
Boom.
oh, I have that too. I'll fall
Yeah.
asleep with I'd be wide awake.
Yeah, but that's saying drink some coffee. I'll fall asleep like that.
Oh
But
no,
I-
I'll
I
fall
mean,
asleep with a
it
cup of
is.
coffee in my
I'm
hand
with
at
you.
home. I'm because
And apparently that is another, because of that stimulant. Like right that.
it's leading you the right way.
Right, where they will give, and I thought about Summer and Danielle because they had talked about their son needing, I don't know if medication, forgive me if you guys are still able to listen, I don't remember that part, but they were talking about having to deal with ADHD kind of stuff, and that if you give a kid, and I think this is primarily with kids, but if you give a kid that has ADHD, like Mountain Dew
Stimulants,
or
right.
something like that, that it
But
happens the
sugar
other way.
and caffeine are different attacks on the same thing. So like it would be like a coffee versus something that's all sugar. You know what I mean? Like the Mountain Dew might be sugar versus I don't know what Mountain Dew has in it.
But you're
That's
not you're not gonna get an 8-year-old to drink a cup of coffee. If you need
man.
a stimulant in your 8-year-old, you give him soda.
Right,
But
right. That's
it's
what I'm
not-
saying.
yeah.
I don't know the components. The only
Right.
reason I'm pushing back on the Mountain Dew is because I don't know if that's just a sugary drink or does Mountain Dew also
I
have
have a
caffeine in it?
caffeine
So
in it.
Mountain
I thought
Dew-
caffeine.
I thought it was the high. I thought actually it was the highest caffeinated.
I did too.
It used to be.
Oh.
So as I got through my 20s on Marlboros and Mountain Dew, people.
Atta girl.
yeah. Yeah.
So Mountain Dew, before like the Jolt Colas came out,
Mm-hmm.
before the Hyper,
Right.
long before energy drinks and long
Yep.
before your Monster and your Red Bull and all this bullshit, like Mountain Dew was the highest concentration of caffeine
Right.
in a soft drink
Oh wow.
on the market.
Yeah.
And again, I apologize for that 'cause I
No,
just don't
no,
know anything
that's
about
okay.
sodas. So
Yeah.
And that's
we had
why
to take
when-
that into a land that I could swim in because I'm like,
No, I literally like I would wake up,
Yeah.
open a soda, light a
Yep.
cigarette, and then not eat until like 4 o'clock in the
Right.
afternoon. And be
I
like,
mean,
"Oh,
I want to be
whatever."
on that diet. That
God,
sounds
I'd be
like
thin.
I know. It's all I can think.
I mean, if I could just do it without the
Yeah.
smoking.
I'd smell
Nero,
funky and my
honestly,
pee would be toxic.
If I was still smoking, I'd be 40
Yeah,
pounds
right.
lighter.
yeah.
Nero, we don't typically kids
worth the
don't get
40 pounds.
coffee here. Typically kids don't.
Yeah,
don't
we
do
give them
coffee here.
soda. We
Well,
don't give them the thing made
Right.
from a bean.
well, now, however,
No.
I would bet I would have
We
an
give them
issue with that. I think
hydrogenated vegetable
I think
oil
in the
and
with the
sugar.
new age in the past I don't know however many years now when we've got all these coffee shops and the Starbucks markets
Yeah.
their stuff
but they're
like
not
soda.
drinking coffee. They're drinking sugary
They're drinking frappuccinos.
frappuccinos. They're not drinking coffee. They're drinking candy.
But that's still got caffeine in it.
It does.
right?
Not always.
Oh no.
yeah.
Nope.
Yeah.
One
No,
of the
my kids and I were on a big caffeine or not caffeine but Starbucks addiction like when I first started living with them, and me and the little one especially, and we were like concerned about the caffeine like you do. And so a vanilla bean frappuccino is
Yep.
just sugar.
Yeah.
There's no
Chocolate
coffee
chip
in it. There's
frappuccino,
no
no.
and so
nothing.
did that drink. Remember they put out that drink last year that was all the rage, and it has no
Some
coffee
sort
in
of a
it.
dragon.
There was
Oh,
that
right.
kind of a
Yeah.
dragon.
It's
There's
like a
no
snow
coffee in
cone
it.
in a cup.
Yeah.
Exactly. No,
Right.
that's what they are.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
700 calories.
Because
Oh, yeah.
Americans can't get anywhere without sugar. Like we put
Yeah.
sugar in our ketchup, which is just weird.
Yeah.
So we're going
I
on.
do
So
enjoy
where the hell is
delicious.
my? Where the hell is my? I don't know.
Anything.
Blank
Again,
anything.
I don't know if that's age.
Come on, where the hell are my keys? I look
Oh.
for my. I mean,
Why I was that kept that I am 10 minutes
No.
here, 10 minutes later because
I never
They're
have.
in my
keys
car.
I just sat down.
Well,
never have that trouble.
I never have
Right.
to look for my keys. I have this OCD of they're on a hook at the exact same spot every single time I come home.
And you know what? Tim did that for me when we lived together. He,
And you moved out.
yeah, he hung those hooks, and they did help. But like today,
Yeah.
I was like going in and out the front and back door, so I would have never been by
Sure.
that particular hook. And then I went back to the computer, and it turns that I put them underneath a piece of paper that I was like trying to pay a bill. It's a
And
whole
mine
fucking
is
thing.
mine are like I'll put it in my purse or my bag or whatever. And why isn't it always in the same place
Yeah.
in the bag or this or that? We get to the car and Aaron has said in the last 7.5, almost 8 years, just have the keys ready. Just have the keys ready.
Yeah.
And especially when it's warm out. Now I can just start the car, apparently, which you'll have to teach me because I can't figure that out.
It's a
No,
button.
It's a button.
No, I keep pressing the
Oop.
things.
Gotta
I
hit it
keep-
twice usually.
Oh, maybe that's it.
It usually
times,
says
two
two
times.
times. Yeah.
But it's.
It's frightening.
But she
sometimes.
does. She
I like it, though.
really like gets pissy about that, and I get very frustrated because
Well,
I'm like, how the fuck do I lose these things all the time? And then it's a true like frustration. Just like when I'm late, it's not as though I'm sitting there like and
Consciously.
No, you're
consciously, like,
spinning about
fuck you.
18 different things that you
100
left
miles
to
an
the
hour.
last minute. Yeah.
right, and thinking at 6:15, oh, I still can get these last 3 things done. I can fold the laundry. I can get done with the dishes. Well,
You're
you-
late because of housework?
Because a lot of times it's a matter of I flipped the laundry. I'm going to flip the laundry now. It won't take that long.
But it'll
Yeah.
be there when you get home.
No, absolutely.
But it'll
it's-
bother her the whole time she's here.
But it's a perseveration.
We can't get back airtime, Marty.
I know. But
Can never get
that's
this
how
I
time
we
mean,
back.
ever stop,
as
yeah.
silly as silly as that sounds. If I get up, people just get up earlier. Okay, I never thought about that one.
Slap
Or,
those people.
or
First
stay
of
up
all,
later.
or stay up later.
Yeah.
Anybody that ever
I
tells you to
up.
get up earlier, just slap them.
No
yeah,
shit.
I don't like
Walk away from them and go back to bed.
Well, because
Take your Jesus
if I
hand.
get up earlier, anytime I would get up earlier, now I have more time
To be later.
to be later. Right,
Yeah.
right. Because I have all this time. Well, now I can get that laundry done, and I can do this, and I can do that, and then I can look up and go, "Well, I'll be goddamned."
Yeah, I just drank because I got up earlier, so I had an extra cup of coffee and I sat and
Yeah.
played
nothing.
solitaire for
Yeah.
another hour.
Yeah.
So forgetting
Yeah.
everything, gotta
Anyway.
wiggle. I don't have.
Gotta
what?
wiggle.
Just gotta wiggle.
Oh
Gotta
yeah,
just
I
always
gotta
move.
move around. Gotta move. I can't. Yeah.
Stares at wall for 5 hours. I wish I had that.
Now, could you
that to
transpose
TV?
wall for screen?
Yeah.
Yeah. I would say yes, and I would say yes because like you can sit there and watch TV for an exorbitant length of time,
And I can't.
So far, 52 years straight.
and I sit
Commercial
there,
free.
It's funny because it's true.
Yeah, and I can sit there, and it doesn't matter if but getting lost in a screen of whatever
Yeah.
kind, I would think so.
I mean, and YouTube, all that stuff makes it worse. The YouTube whole.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Oh,
You're
right.
just gone.
Right.
Getting
Right.
distracted by a leaf. Too boring. Can't do it.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I can talk myself out of that. That leads to procrastination, but eventually, yeah.
It's like being in school. If I was bored, I'd just shut down. Just
Oh.
shut down.
Yeah, I was sent to a special school.
I find that on
I went
so-
to a special school.
I do
Yeah.
find, with regards to that one, I
I
find
believe
that
you.
oftentimes I will think in my head about doing X, Y, Z, whatever it is. And then I'm always like, shaving would be a prime example. I feel like in my head, shave, it's like, God, I don't want to shave anymore. I'm just tired of shaving. I don't want to shave anymore. And then I realize it literally takes me 90 seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like once you do it, and like
You
there
just
was a
talked longer about it than
there-
it took you to do
there
it.
was
Yeah.
a there was a post I had to make on a site for the new trivia thing that I'm doing, and I'm like, oh, I just want to put this off. I'm gonna do it tomorrow, and I did it, and it honestly took me 7 minutes to do
Right.
it.
Right.
So I do that a lot in certain things in my head. I build it up to be like, but conversely, I'll go mow the whole yard though.
Right.
That takes 25, 30 minutes to do, but I could have done one thing for 7 minutes and been done with it. But no, I'll put it off.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Absolutely.
What's the
I
other
get
one?
it. I get it.
So there's bright colors, but I think that's the same as getting distracted by a leaf.
Yeah.
Sure.
And can you repeat that? I wasn't paying
What?
attention. I'm so guilty of that one.
So what is the opposite of ADHD?
Yeah.
But wait,
I've got like 4 things
Typical.
on that list.
Typical.
Is it- no, I've got
focused, yeah.
my one here. No,
Yeah.
my question then would be, the can you repeat? I wasn't paying attention. Now, I don't think that that's necessary. I think that is a symptom of a lot of other issues.
Sure.
Because it's not that I don't want to pay attention. I don't care.
That's,
I don't-
see,
but-
that's a
yeah.
whole different thing.
I don't care to listen to you. So you could have that same
Right.
issue and have two entirely
But I
different
think
issues.
I think where
And
that comes
sometimes I
down
talk
to
to
it.
myself.
Oh.
all the
Very
time.
Sometimes
much.
I'm just so busy talking to myself that
All
I'm like, oh my god,
All the time.
All the
You
time.
should probably open up this dialogue with another person. That
Oh, I
might
don't
be
want to. No, you
healthy.
can't let anybody in. It fucks with the conversation.
I'm having too good of a conversation
Yeah.
by myself. I like me enough for that. But there are so many different diagnoses and different
Yeah.
kinds of things that are going on to where, like somebody, we've talked about borderline before and kind of been like,
She's
"Ah."
using her
I know,
nuts.
I love
to
it.
play the
I don't want to talk about Kat using her nuts. But
I don't get bingo.
but when
sorry.
you're so for borderline personality disorder,
yeah.
there are these supposed 8 things or 8
Those fucking people. I
9
can't
things.
with them anymore.
I can't fucking borderlines. I can't.
I'm not too many.
But
I'm over them.
I'm with you.
I can't even go to a Borders.
But
And they need
but
the help.
if you
'Cause
but
they're all
every
closed.
single
right.
but every single one of us has some of those tendencies.
Right,
Oh,
and like
sure,
it's-
everybody has
yeah.
Just
stuff.
like this.
Like
right.
I want to know, like if I just take the 2 that I do the most and take that to a medical
Yeah.
professional, what are they going to diagnose me
But
with?
that's exactly Nero is
Irritable
spot
bowel
on.
syndrome.
Yeah. Nero is spot on because when it comes down to is does it disrupt your life?
right.
And it really had me at a breaking point.
Yeah.
I mean, and because I've always just tried to spin it and charm it and make it, it'll be fine and I figured out a way. And at 49, oddly, we're done.
Yeah.
There are no more ways. Like it's tiring.
Well,
It's
I'll
very
bet.
tiring. So, and just lastly, you had asked, like what kind of stuff or Al had as far as the follow up, and they're trying to do this doctor is wanting meditation and listen to this and try this and I told him I'll try whatever.
Well,
I
and
mean,
it's all,
I'll
it's all
try.
kind of a crapshoot. So psychology's kind of what tools can they give you
Right.
to help you get through life.
Right.
So I went to a lot of counseling as a teen.
Me too.
I
Have
was
you thought about starting again?
no, I'm
Yeah.
40 and I don't give a fuck. No, but I went to a
Is
lot
this
of
that talk to the hand kind
Yeah.
of thing? What
Very
are we
talk
doing?
to
I'm
Jesus.
just,
Yeah.
I'm blessing you while
Yeah.
telling you to fuck right
Oh,
off.
thank you. I thought that
You
was
fuck
it.
right
Yeah,
off,
yeah,
and
yeah.
you can fuck right
Yeah,
off.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
how that's
And
what
you
that's going.
especially can fuck up.
But no, I mean, I'm pretty sure everyone can find tools in counseling that can help them through their life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like the thing that I took away from all of the counseling as a teenager was a lot of communication stuff.
Sure.
Like how I should be communicating, how I am communicating. I don't always.
You
I don't always.
failed that
Right.
I don't always
miserably.
practice it.
Based
no.
on what
No,
I'm,
but-
the
but-
story you told me
based on
earlier.
But
Sucking
she
me.
heard. But she heard some. She heard
Delivering
what they
the
had said.
mail.
But
He
I
was
also have the
intended to.
tools to, at some point, identify what behaviors I'm doing that
Right.
are problematic and what things that I can try and do to.
Sure.
To yeah, I had some personal conflict this week, and had already before I got the feedback that I knew was coming, had already like taken a step back and went, wait a minute,
Right.
Yeah.
this isn't how this is supposed to work. Take a breath,
Right.
reboot. So a lot of people get all kinds of different things out of, different counseling and different therapy. Like meditation works for some people.
Right.
Organization works for other people.
Doesn't me.
Whatever.
I have a question for you, though.
Yeah.
In the midst of all this, and maybe I already know my answer, but I want you to confirm it. In the midst of all of this, chasing your tail, every 9 million things to get done, and you never get anything done, yada, yada. Is there something, though, that you do that is a timeout for you, that you enjoy doing, that really is a timeout for you? Or have you just gone so long in this flurry that you don't even do that anymore?
And follow-up question, that
yeah.
might be something that counseling could really help you with, is healthy habits and healthy,
Right.
Like weekly cycles. Like what
Absolutely.
these are the things that I'm doing, and he can really help you identify things that are
In addition
spinning
to
your
just
wheels.
talking to somebody outside of your bubble that has no
Right.
connection to
Right.
your mom, your relationship, your work, or the three of us.
Sure. Absolutely.
I think this
The-
is therapeutic.
You mean
I like-
we're not
I like
helping
it.
you?
Oh God, you
So-
guys help me all the
So
time.
is there something that's
help me get help.
Fucker that doesn't
but
know my
is there
name.
something that's zen for you?
So there
Even if
was.
it's sitting in your car listening to a CD.
Sometimes there is that. Truly.
Okay.
Like I would pull up to my house when I would get home, and rather than go in, which I think was another issue, but rather than go in, I would just sit there and listen to music in the car, and it was just quiet, and
Right.
or just turn everything off and just sit in the car. But the main thing was Jabs. Was going. That was my 1 hour of zen, if you will.
And
Oh, and-
explain to the listeners who may
And
not know what Jabs
so
is.
Jabs is the gym that I was going to 6 days a week, and it was 1 hour a day of just. I didn't have time to think about anything else.
Right, and that's a good and we had talked about that years ago
Yeah.
about can you turn off and just not give a shit.
Right, because
And the two of you
these
acted like I
things-
asked you to kill puppies.
No, yeah, well, and because
I'm still
Very-
concerned about the puppies, by
I,
the way.
I
It's a very
Well, because
it was a
with-
very dangerous conversation to find out from
It
both
really
of you
was.
that you had that same answer. Yeah.
Oh, and for both of us, you at the time understood because of how attached we had to be because of work.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, there was no, and then it got to the point where I had my Fitbit, and I had my Fitbit let me know, because if you're in a certain range, like, so if you have a call coming in or you have a text, at least while I was boxing, I could look down and go, okay. And I knew what it was.
So that added to the.
But it didn't get me
manic.
out of.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
But if I had to walk away, I could. But I stopped. It's obvious. But I stopped going to Jabs in November. A lot of stuff happened in November.
Transformative time.
Transformative. Well, and it had to be because I was that 1 hour of taking out to drive, like, because then it became another thing.
Yeah. Right.
It was, God knows, another fucking thing for me to be late to, and it was another thing for me to let somebody down because I was late, and I had to leave, home, and I was going to die. There was no two ways about it.
And get ready for 18
Driving,
things. Yeah.
Right, but driving like a fucking maniac to be able to get from A to B, it was just. And that's why, to be honest with you, like, I was getting done with the laundry and I had to finish the dishes and do whatever. But then when I said I was on my way here, now I don't drive like that anymore. I mean,
That's
I
probably
just
good.
haven't.
That's good.
I think it is. Am I going to still be?
Oh, you're
I
not
would
driving.
have been.
Oh, you still.
I would have been
So
5
crazy
minutes.
drive, crazy
Yeah.
drive. Yeah. Oh, good choices. Yeah.
Because
And you-
why?
As
Yeah.
someone who also drives in this city, I thank you.
Yeah. No. But but
See,
that,
I mean,
and
I'm
I'm
on my
being-
mic. I don't even have a
Oh.
seatbelt.
And I do appreciate that because,
Oh.
like, I was like, I'm fine. It was like roller skating, right? When you're little, and it's a skate at your own risk.
Yeah.
I would always go 3,000 miles an hour. I did not know how to stop except to slam into a wall. And I think that's such a fucking metaphor.
Is that what November was? Your wall?
It was my wall.
Yeah.
Lana got her wall
Ba-
before Trump did.
I got to
The win. That's a clear victory.
winner, winner, chicken dinner. Yay!
Yeah. I mean
Uh,
that. I mean, so that's so it's good to hear that
Yeah.
you knew there. Well, 49 years old, you knew there's a
Yeah.
problem and you did something about it.
No, I mean, I think I always kind of just put it to the side because I've, for 30 of those years, worked with people that have real problems.
Right. Right. That makes it
Right.
hard.
It does.
That makes it very hard. To
I don't
be
have
like,
anything to bitch
Right.
about. I don't have it's not really an issue. It's not like if I had cancer, I would do this. If I had this, I would do this. Well,
Right.
you know what? This is a cancer because it was killing
Right.
me.
And I think I think
No
depression
twist
has
about
to
it.
go into that
Sure.
that bag too of like this is a serious disease and
Yeah.
before that spirals you have to get help
Yeah.
for it. It's not mind over matter. You can't talk
Right.
yourself out of it.
Pull
If
yourself
it's
up by your
tru-
bootstraps.
If it's truly depression, you have to go and get the help or PTSD
yes.
or and
Or
forgive
bi-
me,
or
I don't
borderline.
remember what ASD is.
Where's ASD?
Nero was saying about having ASD and ADD. I know what ADD is, but ASD is not coming to me. I'm not.
Is it
ASD
antisocial?
I thought that was
that's-
autism spectrum disorder.
Oh yeah, you're correct.
Yeah.
So Nero, correct us if we're wrong on that one because that
Yeah, the
My
autism
life
Google
is
said it was
No,
true.
I know they
my
always
life
say
is full
that.
of acronyms and sometimes I don't get
I know.
them right.
No, you're right.
I know they
you're
always
right.
say that with regards to people who are diagnosed with autism, they always say they're on the spectrum. But I always feel like that's sort of I think everybody's on the spectrum. Like if you look
No,
at
they're not.
everybody, like I think everybody's. And when I say spectrum, what I mean is
Yeah.
all of the stuff that you're talking about.
Oh.
Everybody
Oh,
has
everybody
all
has
of
a
them.
different.
Right.
Everybody has a different
Right.
issue of some
There,
sort.
Different
there
spectrum.
really
But, yeah,
is
different
no. I don't think there
spectrum.
really is a normal. Everybody's got a tick
There
or a
isn't.
twerk
There-
or
no.
something.
There absolutely is
Yeah.
not a normal.
Right.
No, and that's
Yeah.
what whenever autism spectrum disorder. When
Sorry for not knowing that, Nero. I have eventually the.
I'm going to ask you a question
Yeah, please.
posed by my mother.
Yes,
She
of
just
course, of
she
course.
just texted me. She's a first time texter, a long time listener. No,
welcome, welcome. Thank you.
kidding. Was your mother
Uh-huh.
already drinking and having that issue at your when you were born? Was your mom already on that path, or
Was
no?
Mama drunk?
Or
No, but I mean, like when.
right?
when
Was
I
she an
was-
alcoholic already? Then was
Probably,
that
yeah,
already an
yeah.
issue?
Probably.
I don't know why mom is asking that.
Well, because it can different things can affect. I don't know if mom. I'm sure that she drank and smoked, or at least smoked. while I
you think
was-
so?
I think
Oh,
so.
in the era that we
In
were.
that
in
era-
the era
yeah.
that we were born.
Yeah.
Yes.
It was just past when doctors would prescribe that to pregnant women, so
Yeah.
probably still not a big deal.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, please, we all rode
Oh.
in cars without seatbelts, and
Yeah.
you know,
Right.
whatever. So, I think it's a great question. I don't know. I honestly don't know. They say that as far as alcoholism, when when did you become an alcoholic? Well, it's not necessarily because once you kind of hit that, that's where you stop growing, like maturing.
Oh, that's
And-
true of so many different things, though.
Right.
The trauma.
You're right.
And maybe Jenny
That's right.
could speak on this too about traumatic stress disorder. That when the trauma happens is when people usually stop developing. So whether
Correct.
it's like sexual assault, if it's molestation, if it's any kind of trauma,
That's right.
there's some kind of developmental wall that happens there that something stops growing at that
Well,
point.
and there are a
Interesting.
lot of
Something
people
stays at
that
that
if
age.
they
I've heard
started
that more
drinking
than
in high
once.
school, right? If they started drinking like big time in high school, that's where.
You're gonna give a third.
No, but I mean that's where a lot of times
Really start
Don't
drinking.
really yeah.
Had it in your locker
Right.
at school.
And
Oh.
I'm just saying maybe but for mom it was more. She says more like high school, more 20s, like end of high school, beginning, and she had me at 21, so that would make sense. But that might be, I don't know what your mom is curious, like if that had something to do with it. But I don't know. I'd certainly look into it, but I don't know.
Yeah.
That's more fetal alcohol, I think, from my understanding of things. That fetal alcohol syndrome comes from someone drinking during. But
That's what
the
the sign on
being
the wall
s-
says anyway.
That's right.
Yeah, and I
and
would,
the being scattered
In
though.
every
I
bar.
would say to go back to your thing about
Legally
spectrums.
required.
I think it's more of a coping spectrum, right? That's how I would kind of more
Yeah,
say
because
that how you
you're exactly right. No one is normal.
No one is
there's
normal, but
typical. There's a typical
Yeah.
compared
It's a bell
to-
curve, really.
yeah,
Sure.
but I really think how everybody gets through the day is more of a coping spectrum. Like, do you handle it like okay? Do you take hostages? Is it you that's suffering? You know what I mean? Like, is it ruining your life? Like, I'm with my two little things there. I've just picked someone to focus everything on, and if that person doesn't murder me by the end of a day, I'm always kind of surprised. Like,
Sure.
because I just focus because I want all my crazy there. Because if my crazy goes where it's supposed to go, I'll just be nuts.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and I do. I think that I really do think that everything is with that spectrum. I have said for folks that I work with that have autism, I'm like, oh, I get that, right? With the OCD kind of stuff, the not wanting to touch. This talks about touching, wanting to touch everything, but like to me, that's like squishing things. You know?
and that's
Like
the
that kind of thing.
the ADD thing,
A
or the
tactile-
OCD thing of
Monk,
like I
you
have
know,
to.
kinda-
Yeah, the people
Sure.
that have to count everything or touch everything
Right.
or alphabetize things or
Yeah.
straighten everything. Like,
Yeah.
that's all that.
Like maybe, maybe that's me.
I think that's
Yeah.
it's just fantastic that to get the help and I think as she said to keep up, don't ditch the keep him as something you have to
Oh,
do, your
yeah.
psychologist, because
Yeah,
there's
yeah.
there's
That's
things
a big deal.
They're good tools.
there's there's
They
things
have
to
really
help
cool
you get
things.
back
Sure.
into to maybe help you relax. You could you could find a bath relaxing.
Well, and
And
no,
maybe take a
I
shower
will not
first.
Find a bath relaxing.
They're so
That
soothing
shit's
and they smell
no-
so good.
no.
Sitting in my own stink.
Yeah, that's
Again,
right.
how dirty
Swimming in
are you?
my
And you
own
can always
swill.
rinse off first.
No, nobody has that kind of time.
A bath isn't for
I
cleaning.
will
A bath
always
is for
have
relaxing.
shit to do, and it's not gonna no. But you're.
But you-
and
but
thank
you have-
you guys.
Swimming pool, if I
But
had to
real soon,
Right.
you have to find a time where you don't
A happy time, yeah.
have shit to do. Like there has to be a time
Yeah.
in your day when
I feel like that's going to give you anxiety. Just think, oh, God, now I got to do nothing.
now I got to do nothing. Yeah,
do
no,
what?
nothing is on my list.
You already do nothing.
And that's kind of what we
No,
talked
and it doesn't
about.
have to be daily either. Like annually, I demand a beach vacation.
Sure.
Demand.
Right. And we talked about that when we did our Thoughtful Vulgarity last week of like one of the things that prompted it was the fact that like last Saturday or whatever it was, I could just walk home and it didn't matter when I got there.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I could walk home in the rain, take my time, take different routes. There was nothing pressing.
Right.
There was nothing I had, like no one was waiting. I could just, and that, everybody go to bed, nothing to do.
Yeah,
Like I got
yeah.
nowhere to be.
I'm good.
And you have to find, and maybe that's something you can make a goal, but there has to be a time where, and it doesn't have to be a bath.
Right.
Like laying on a hammock and
Well,
saying,
and my
I
hope.
don't have shit to do.
My hope is
That laundry
that-
can sit there.
Right. And my hope is that it's going back. I went back to jabs and I got my it's a boxing thing. I don't know if I had said that part, but it was like being able to just kind of hit things and kick at things and just
Yeah.
not truly try not to focus on anything for an hour because it's 45 seconds and then bing and then you move to the next thing and that I think is a good thing. So I had gone back there and I re-upped my membership, and so hopefully that'll be the kind of go-to, but make it so that it's not the stressful
Right.
kind of thing to get there. That it is that piece to
Something to just look forward to.
Right.
Yeah.
right.
I always say,
So
like, I don't want to do things that I just have to get to the other side of. I hate
Yeah.
that feeling of,
I-
like,
obligation is the worst feeling I think in the entire
yeah,
world.
like, I just got to live through this and then I can do something else. Like, I hate those tasks.
Yeah. I don't want anyone to ever feel obliged to me, like that there's some obligation, like, oh, I have to do this or
Yeah.
I have to do that. I don't ever want anyone to feel that way with me, and I don't want to have to feel that way because that's just
But
not
there's
okay.
but there's meetings and stuff. There are things in life like meetings,
work-wise.
yeah,
Right.
Or sometimes like
Right.
somebody needs to have a conversation with you. Like I just have to live through this. Like they're just going to say what they have to say. I have
Conversations
nothing
are
to
the worst. I
contribute.
hate them.
And then we'll all move on.
And at the end of it, he'll be, I'm sorry, I wasn't listening.
Yeah.
What?
What was that?
So we have to talk about
I saw
this?
the
All
cat
right.
over
And
here.
there are times where like an interpersonal relationship, somebody has something to say, and it may just be like, I'm not worrying about this at all, but you have to vent, so go
Yeah.
ahead.
Yeah.
Go through your rage, and I'm still going to be the same. I'm not going to be affected by it. And there's times where you both have to get in there and like work something out. But
Sure.
there are relationships where sometimes somebody's like, okay, you got something to say here, and I got nothing to contribute because
Right.
I'm not bothered by this
At all. Right. Right. So.
That reminds me of something that's going on in our neighborhood. In fact, they're working on a no parking thing on our street. This is a vast change of topic.
Yeah.
But it was one of those things like, I've lived here 18 years. I don't give a shit that the students park on our street. I really don't give a fuck.
Oh, from
Oh,
Brophy?
right.
From
Yeah.
Brophy. They don't, I
Yeah.
don't care. They're here,
Yeah.
they park, and then in the summers they're gone. Like, I just really don't care. It
If
doesn't
they
affect
don't
me.
leave garbage.
But
Yeah.
2 doors down, they're losing their mind over it.
Okay.
And their
'Cause
petitions,
there's a car in front
it's
of their
all been
house?
signed and it's done.
Yeah.
Now, I signed the deal to stop. I'm like, fine. I don't care if they're here. I don't care if they're not.
Right.
But I just thought it was interesting. And they were coming down the street the other day, and I'm like, I'm like, you've been here 4 years, and you're all worked up about this. I've been here 18, and I couldn't give a shit.
Won't that mean that we'll have to park on your lawn?
You're right. You're
No, it's only from 10 to 2 during
Oh,
weekdays.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Very,
so-
I mean, there's
very
just-
spiteful.
There's just stuff that sometimes you just have to. I'll just live through this
Are you
hour.
kidding? I would be out there going, get off my lawn. Like, what the hell would you think?
I know, if there's
Yeah.
no street parking
No,
on this
no,
street,
no,
I got
it's-
news for you.
no.
I'm parking in your grass.
No,
Yeah.
no, it's
Is it
outside of
legal
it.
now?
and to just thank you guys for all of that time, and what a great discussion. So thank you. But what Nero is saying with autism spectrum disorder, I agree with Al. We may have misrepresented that, but I work with folks that have autism, and
I do a radio show
and-
each week with them.
different. But it's one of those things, Nero, that for me, I know in speaking for myself that I find compatibility. Like there's so many things that make sense to me.
Yeah.
That when other people have looked at folks that have autism or that I work with, and well, that doesn't make any sense what they're doing. You know, that doesn't make any sense. It does to me.
Yeah.
You know, there's and so I think that as we've said, there are different things that we all kind of have. No one is saying, for instance, that I have autism. I have autistic tendencies in my brain, because I can compare certain things to what folks that I work with have to, just as a part of how their brain is.
Yeah,
and
and
deal
that's just one of those things that I've just really learned about in the last decade or so. You know, just through work,
Right.
and that different where that sits and how that goes, and that stays with you for life. You don't
Yeah.
outgrow that.
Yeah, you're not gonna.
That's
you're
not
gonna,
mind over matter.
It didn't happen because of a vaccination.
Right.
And it didn't happen because of not having a vaccination.
Yeah.
And it's not any fucking thing to do with the color red dye number 68.
Or
No,
aspartame.
you're right.
I think it's 32.
aspartame, right, or whatever it is,
Yeah.
right. You know, it has nothing to do with any of those things. But everybody wants an answer. And, you know, for some of those things, there isn't an answer. There are just ways to cope and ways to get through things.
Right.
Yeah. Different ways to kind of get through your day a little bit better. So
But the coping mechanism.
you
I
guys
was
are
talking
one
about-
of my ways to get
Yeah,
through
the
my
coping
day.
Everybody's got
mechanism-
some
yeah.
kind of cross to
So-
bear.
Yeah. And the coping mechanism I was talking about wasn't about that. It's just
Yeah.
about how, people that you meet that you're like, wow, you're bad at this, because you just don't know how to cope with it. Like
Yeah.
the different
Yeah.
stresses. Those are not social things, but other cues. But I don't know. So my week was not that
It's not a
exciting.
day.
But,
Tell us about it. Tell me more. Tell me more.
Filed the
Like, did you have a car?
taxes, and
Good job.
because all the things that I've been stressing about over the last year happened last week.
Okay.
And again, lived through them because none of them were that. It's all self-inflicted. Now I can't stay the fuck awake. So I've been on some kind of a permanent nap since Sunday morning. So
Okay.
you're lucky I'm here because
Good for you.
Lucky?
just trying to see exactly.
Lucky is the word you're going to use.
So
Wait a
yeah.
minute. Can you repeat that? I wasn't paying attention.
So it's been a very delightful change to be constantly just
Asleep.
asleep.
Yeah.
And like, I slept through the Oscar nominations for the first time in like 27 years
Oh my
this
gosh.
morning.
Wow.
I almost texted you this morning too.
Yeah, and I woke up at like 9 o'clock and I'm like, what the
Did that? What?
fuck happened?
Wow.
My iPad is also not set to military time, so every time I set an alarm on here, it just fails
Oh.
because
Because
I
you
Why
don't
don't
know how
you
to
set it?
subtract 12.
No, because I don't do the AM PM. I forget that that's part of it.
You can change that.
I know, but I don't know how to change it.
It's in settings.
Oh, is it settings? Okay.
Settings.
I went,
Time.
I went to
Time and
clock.
date settings.
I started
That's a
the
setting,
clock
sure.
part.
That seems.
In fact, we'll wait if you'd like to go into it right
I'm
now.
gonna do it right now. You
Do
tell
it
us
right
what you
now.
did this week.
I'll tell you what I did this week. I started a new trivia show at Stacy's on Monday night. Went very well yesterday. I'm glad.
Good.
And it was one of those things that for the first time in a long time, I was, because I've hosted and done many events and shows over the years, but this one was not my doing. Meaning, it's not my rules. It's not my, I didn't create this.
You
So
just showed up and chuckled.
So I had
your way
to
through it.
play by the company's
their
rules and
rules,
do all
yeah.
different stuff. So I was nervous about it, apprehensive about it, but I put my own spin on it, which is something we're doing differently than everybody else.
Was this that thing you were talking about where you have to get the questions or something?
They email me. We're working with a company out of LA called King Trivia,
Okay.
and they email me on Sunday night. Everybody else does their trivia, I guess, later in the week. So we're demanding it Monday, if not Sunday night. Actually, I wanted them Friday because I was like, let's go.
Yeah.
So we get ours late Sunday night. They email them to me, and then I take them. The way that they usually have their people do it is they just read the questions from a deal to the audience. And I'm like, no, we've got 5 screens at Stacy's. I'm gonna make it interactive. I want screens. I want the questions on the screens, and then they make you print out and would do handouts. Like, no, we're just going to put pictures on the screens. There's no reason to do handouts. There is one that you have to do because they
Use your
literally,
technology,
they
yeah.
really have to draw lines and make
Oh.
the connections to something.
Okay.
I can't do, at this point, I haven't figured out how I would do that in another way. But anywho, that's not a
Like
big deal. But
Pictionary kind of thing?
got through. No, it was like literally, they give you, like for example, yesterday was 10, it was a Broadway song listing. It was 10 Broadway song titles
Okay.
and 12 villains from Broadway that you had to match. So
Do
it's,
you have a copy of this sheet? And
I
can
know,
we
I
have
have
it
it.
at
I
a
wanna
break
play
of
right
some
now.
I
kind?
can certainly get it too. Yes, I do have it.
It's on.
But neither group last night got it correct. Not all of it. They were one was half and the other one was like 3 or 4 off, something to that effect.
Okay.
You need to print
But
this out
anyway,
immediately.
Game
But it was
on.
but it was
Can
good.
we pause the show?
It
What are
was
we doing?
good. It was fun. I got through it, and once it was done, I was like, great, because it has to last about 90 minutes to 2 hours, and that was what our goal is. So it lasted 90 minutes last night, which is well in the time frame that they want. So it was just interesting to get through that and over that hump, and now I know how it's going to all work and how it's going to go together, and the Mondays from here on out will
Very
all
nice.
roll out lovingly.
Good.
Also, I got a free washing machine
Oh,
because somebody's an idiot, and so that all worked out well.
Okay.
nice.
And that actually is one of my therapeutic things because they had approached me about coming to fix this machine, and come to find out through my friend Ricardo, they just decided screw it. They just wanted to buy a new washer and dryer, so he wanted to get rid of his. He sold them theirs, blah blah blah. He bought new ones that he really wanted because his mom is so short she can't use a top loader washer.
Yeah.
She has to have a front loader,
Okay.
otherwise she'll fall in. So
Fair.
Oh, we don't want that.
so
That
we
seems
went.
bad.
I helped him by hauling his other washer and dryer, and they gave me the new one. Well, I didn't realize the condition of this washer when they got it.
Oh,
The son of this person had disassembled it, and
Oh.
they're one of those people that should never ever disassemble anything ever.
I'm on that list.
But I figured out
Proud member.
within 2 minutes of picking it up, I figured out what was wrong with it. So now I have
Oh, there you are, right there.
so now I have a challenge from Ricardo. He's like,
Too.
I want to see you get that all back together,
Yeah.
and I'm like, oh, challenge accepted, easy.
Game
If
on.
you could do if you could do that when you were 10,
Right.
I'm
Why
certain
can't
you
I
can
do
do
it when
that
I'm
at
50?
49.
Right.
Yeah.
Sure. So
Bullshit, right.
so I'll acquire the part. But the nice thing is when it's done, I will have a completed washer and dryer that I'll have $40
Nice.
invested in because that's the part cost.
Okay.
And then I can turn around and just sell a washer for whatever. But going back to your conversation about, to me that's therapeutic.
Yeah.
When I just go in the shop and there's just music on,
Oh yeah.
and there's no time frame. There's just a tinker. I tinker and I space out all the other stuff.
Yeah, that's what you need to be.
That's
able to do.
my
You have
that's my zen.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's
Yeah,
that.
I love that.
And apparently, over the weekend, because we know how to text each other, we kind of put together. In fact, you're all invited if you care to come. We're doing a Super Bowl thing at my mom's, but more than me is showing up. We're making stuff like Ricardo's coming and Bootsy and I think my friend David, like a bunch of us are going.
I'm pretty sure I'm off.
That's a Sunday.
No, but I think
It's next weekend, right?
That's the 3rd,
Yeah.
Yeah.
February 3rd.
I mean, I'm not coming either way, but
Oh well,
I
that's
thought
all right.
I thought the Super Bowl was sooner than
Well, I
you misrepresented.
it's
I
February
appreciate
2nd.
No, I'm so, no, it's the
Third.
no, it's the 3rd.
third.
Yeah.
Oh, we have Aladdin.
Oh, that's
That's
right.
right.
Oh, so
We're
you
very
all-
busy.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, so
I
it was
don't
just
know,
Perhaps
just
after, because
simply
we do go
because
to a matinee.
Be at the
So.
theater.
I was so fucking mad that the Patriots won that game.
Oh, me too.
I was so mad that.
well, no, I don't follow sports really closely, but I do read headlines, and
Yeah.
apparently there was a bad call
Oh,
on
yeah.
the field, and
That's the
people are
Saints- that's the
losing their
and you know
mind.
what? Nothing makes me fucking happier because if anyone remembers this, really, it'll probably just be Mama Die. But 2009, Vikings were playing against the
Oh, I remember it fondly, like it was
New
yesterday.
Orleans Saints,
The
who is
Aints.
the team in question
Okay.
right now. And they were, a big thing came out about how they were getting paid to hurt players. I don't know if
I
you
Oh,
remember
remember that.
hearing
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
And they were getting paid to go after Brett Favre, who was with us at the time, and to hurt him. And there were a couple of calls in that. It was a game to go to the Super Bowl.
I do remember that.
And there were a couple calls that were so fucking out there and crazy that were missed. And so now all of a sudden they're like, yeah, it was mean and they didn't give us the right call. Fuck you. That's too bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can do
Eventually
that.
it'll
Let's
all
do
come
the
out.
10-year challenge.
It'll all
shall
come
we?
out in the wash. Oh my God! Have you guys seen the thing with the
No,
the
that's true,
vaccinated
Mama.
kid, and
It's
10
true.
years later, no file found? The
what?
10-year challenge. They have the unvaccinated kid, and they have the 10-year challenge. So they have him at 5, and then 10 years later, no file found.
Yeah, I have seen that. That's funny. That's funny. They have some really good ones on that.
There's some really funny
Yeah,
ones.
yeah.
I
That
also
is
like
good.
the one that's Share 1929, Share 2019. It's the exact same picture.
Yeah.
That one. I
Same
haven't
with
seen
Karen
either.
Walker.
That one's a lot of fun.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
that's
funny
funny.
too.
That
All right, let's move on with this because we're just going to do it this way.
Okay.
It's our headline segment. We're going to ditch the other segment that we do, which was obsessions, and go right into headlines because we need to. Oh, well, how about paying porn for the wall to
God
get the
Damn, it's my only story.
Job opening.
Come to my bachelor party.
I'm out.
cops looking for meth find a bald eagle.
That's not how this works.
Millennials.
Florida party gets really shitty, and if I see Bigfoot, I just shoot at it. These and whatever the hell Al decides to make up or find.
Oh no, I'll just take it all up in Oscar nominations.
True story.
All right.
Hi, meow.
Yeah, Cal.
We'll be right back after this 2-minute break.
Harris.
Stick
Hi,
around.
Well, hello, you.
You're listening to Q Talk America.
Educates, syncopates, radio communicates, radio, the sound of year-round pleasure.
is the Q Talk America Radio Network.
Ladies, gentlemen, the ships at sea, and all the people in between. We are back at Q Talk America on a Tuesday night at Studio C, live and in charge. We've got the full cast with us tonight. Kat Carlson, Marnie Ryer, Al Perkins, and me. I'm Clayton.
Interesting anecdote. Did you know that your voice is louder outside of the headphones than it is in the headphones?
You're welcome.
It
a
turns
lot,
out they
yeah.
work as a muffle.
Turns out they keep it down a little bit. I was like, why is he shouting? Oh, I don't have my
Not
headphones
shouting.
on.
Not shouting. Anywho, well, our first hour was all about what you've been doing, how you been, and catching up because we all haven't been together as a full cast in some time. So we're here, but don't hold on to that too long because Kat's out next week, and Doug Wilkie will be joining us in studio once when
We hope. We should invite him first.
I'll make sure to get right on that. So here we go with headlines, boys and girls, and it goes something like this. Well, an Arizona lawmaker, we are making news as a lovely
Never
state.
for good reason.
Arizona lawmaker wants to fund the border wall by squeezing money out of every Arizonan who patronizes porno sites. Republican State Representative Gail Griffin, again,
Fuck
Republican,
you, Gail.
recently introduced House Bill
Where's this bitch from?
2444, which would require electronics manufacturers to pre-install porn-blocking software on all electronic devices bought or sold in the state of Arizona. Dumbass. To deactivate the blocking software, a person would then have to prove that they are at least 18 years of age and pay a one-time fee of $20 to the Arizona Commerce Authority. Manufacturers or retailers could also charge a fee for disabling it. According to the bill, anyone who deactivates the blocker themselves would face a misdemeanor charge. Let's take a little gander at this lovely woman, shall we? Look,
I was gonna say, she looks like a porn blocker.
doesn't she?
Oh.
The money collected by the state, according to the proposal, would form a number of
Boner
grants.
killer.
Yeah,
Boner
right there.
killer, boy, howdy.
Actually, they call those downer dancers at the strip clubs. When they send out somebody that's
Oh, keep.
okay, so B across the street used to be a downer dancer at strip clubs. When the girls would go out and all the guys get riled up, they'd send her out and she'd boom down, downer dancer.
Oh.
Swear to God,
That's a real thing.
No.
can't make that. I wouldn't make that up.
That's the thing I would make
If
up.
we could call B right now on Live and Air, she would back up my story. Because yeah, she was the big girl, and she would go out and she was the downer dancer and calm the guys down.
That's.
I don't know.
I don't know. You got to take the money from the other gals because nobody's
do they pull tips?
I don't know. Anyway, the money collected by the state, according to the proposal, would form a number of grants, which, among other things, would help sex abuse victims and fund the president's proposed border wall. The bill defines pornographic content as patently offensive material that lacks literacy, artistic, political, or scientific value. Now, Mike
So does the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills.
Now, Mike Stabile, a spokesman for the Free Speech Coalition, told the Arizona Mirror the proposal amounts to attacks on media content and would violate the First Amendment. Quote, "It's pretty clearly unconstitutional," he said, whose organization, by the way, advocates for the adult entertainment industry. Who the...
Oh, no.
My God. The things that people come... I don't know where she's out of from the state. Where does this lady hail
District
from?
14.
Contopia.
Marty,
Probably.
did you see the picture of the downer dancer? Yeah, right there. Look at her. She's lovely.
Oh, she's
Yeah,
something.
You can see she's got her little Arizona State badge there on her lapel thing right there.
Oh.
So
Atta girl.
She
yeah,
is
she's something. Isn't she something? She's special.
That's a nice
Tucson.
jacket.
Tucson area.
Oh,
Tucson.
Good luck. Good luck
course.
to her.
of course.
Good luck to her.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, it's my turn. Sorry.
It is.
I'm still
Wow.
shaking my head.
Yeah.
Yeah. The disbelief is just
I need
distracting.
I need a second job.
Well,
be a downer dancer. Is that what you want to do? Wow.
That'd be fucking awesome. Sit down,
in a
boys.
double entendre kind of segue, Oscar Mayer. If you're hungry for adventure, Oscar Mayer wants to hear from you. The hot dog company is looking for its next hot dogger. That's what they call the driver of the Wienermobile.
Oh, nice.
Hot
Nice.
doggers.
I like it.
The job is much
That's
more
what they're
than
gonna call
driving.
me at the other job.
Oh,
The hot dogger.
the hot dog.
Sure.
Nope.
Sounds like a personal
Nope.
call.
Wow.
The job is much more than just driving. Oscar Mayer said the position, which will last for 1 year, acts as a goodwill ambassador for the brand.
If
Sure.
you
You're the Wiener ambassador.
Wow.
The hot dogger drives coast to coast for appearances and visits to grocery stores, military bases, and charity functions. Oscar
Is there
Myers.
a lot of demand for the Wienermobile on a military base?
Maybe.
I mean, I know some
Isn't
Navy boys.
there?
Well, there is, but not for the whole mobile.
There's a lot of wiener demand
They're
in the military.
goddamn right.
Listen.
That's why San Diego's so popular.
For real.
Oh.
Oscar Mayer is accepting applications for the job until January 31st. The person who gets the job will start in June. If you're interested in applying, you must have a bachelor's degree in public relations, journalism, communication, advertising, or marketing.
Yeah. They don't just let schmucks do this job.
I'm out.
There you go.
You were
Joe.
this close.
Yeah, right. You were in the thick of it to the very
I
end.
could have been a contender.
How would they have felt if Jesus would have driven their truck?
Oh my God, I should just send him a picture of this. For those of you that only listen to hour 2, first of all, what's wrong with you? Second of all, I have the stigmata. I
That's
might
right.
be Jesus.
Or
Listen
just
to
a,
the first
or
hour.
just
Or-
a tragic bartender accident.
Yeah.
I'm not even sure what happened. I honest to God just woke up like that and was like, ow, that hurts.
Ow,
What
that
the
hurts. Yeah.
fuck? According to Oscar Mayer, the job offers a competitive salary, benefits, clothing, and a company car that is guaranteed to turn heads.
I
All right.
have a question.
Follow-up question.
So they offer a competitive salary. Now, are there a lot of other competitor, like, what? How many other places can you drive a Wienermobile?
You know what? I'm not sure.
Because I'm thinking,
Well, not at ballparks.
We've all
like
followed
not
that
at,
around.
Not at parks and not
as
at schools.
Wienermobile jobs go, we have a competitive pay
As
scale.
wiener driving goes,
No, that's an ample wiener. I like it.
you
Okay,
know,
now maybe it's a maybe it's a comparison between, like, because you know there's that guy that drives around the tractor trailer with the big Idaho potato on it. Maybe it's food. Maybe it's food vehicles that
Oh,
we're
sure.
talking
Could
about.
be.
I don't
Could be.
know.
Okay.
I don't know. There's the Red
Is
Bull
there
car
another?
that runs
Okay,
around.
Sure.
mean,
you know
that-
what? Our reporters are going to get right into
God,
that.
I'm sure they will.
Yeah, we're gonna.
What about the pest control
Our man
cars?
on
Do
the-
they
our
come
man
in
on the
anywhere?
wiener.
I think we're just gonna go with
Yeah.
food.
All right.
Foods.
I didn't know.
Yeah.
I
Oh.
thought, well,
Oh,
you know.
Well,
nice.
you know what? Tune in at 11 and we'll find out
Yeah,
more.
fair point.
Yeah, we aren't
Fair
sure
point.
which 11, but turn into one of them.
I like it. I like it.
Got
Well, how would you like to be invited to a bachelor party
Nope.
of someone you didn't know?
Still no.
All right.
Even if it's somebody I know.
Yeah, I'm on that one.
Nope.
So this this story actually hits a little bit close to home. It's in Phoenix.
Oh,
And
but-
2, you got invited.
no, but
Is this a personal
the one
anecdote?
degree of
Wienermobile
separation,
involved?
kind of a.
Are you coming
a
out as a
degree of
bachelor party
separation.
attendee?
That was my coming out story.
Yeah,
my
so
my
many
one
types
degree
tonight.
of separation. I think if that's what it would be.
Okay.
Did Ernie go to the bachelor party? That would be 1 degree of
second
separation.
degree.
Okay.
Aaron's brother knows this person, so it's 5th degree of separation.
Oh.
Something. Anyway,
Closer than Kevin Bacon. Good job.
thanks to an email typo, I know,
Oops.
right?
Uh-huh.
A Phoenix man is about to head out for the party of his life.
Yes.
He's going to a bachelor party for a man he's never met on the other side of the country, using money he raised on GoFundMe.
Sure. GoFundMe's very useful.
This I thought was so fun.
Building a wall.
You can't build a
So-
wall with the
No,
dough.
no, they had to give that
they'll
back.
give it back.
They give
Turned all
They'll
that.
give it all back.
Oh, it was a
Illegal.
scam.
Yeah.
No, they
Yeah.
had to give it all
Yeah.
back.
We
Yep.
learned so much here.
Google that. That can be your story.
Yeah, that could be your
The,
story.
the GoFundMe campaign was titled "Help Me Go to the Bachelor Party of a Stranger." On Monday, Will Novak
An
got
aptly
I
titled
know.
campaign.
Without a restraining order.
Yeah. On Monday, Will Novak got an email with the subject line "Urgent Info: Angelo's Bachelor Party." He said he thought to himself, "Well, I don't know anyone named Angelo." It sort of felt like one of those weird scam Nigerian prince emails, and I didn't know what to think of it. He almost
Going to a
deleted
Nigerian
it.
prince's
I know,
wedding.
right? He almost deleted it, but his curiosity led him to open it and to start planning a trip.
That's the end of his computer too, right? there.
Yeah, I know. It was a bunch of guys talking about going on a ski resort vacation for a bachelor party Martin Luther King Day weekend. So we'll have a follow-up
Oh,
come next
good.
week. But
Right.
it turns out Angelo and all his buddies live in Vermont. One of Angelo's friends is also William Novak, though he goes by Bill.
Oh.
His email address is only one letter off from Will Novak's, the one Will in Arizona. Hence the mistaken invitation. Here's a snippet of the invitation. It says, attire. Bring your 80s attire, ridiculous, awesome get-ups, etc. For skiing, ask yourself, what would Angelo wear? Wear that. Though it was clearly a mistake, Will Novak responded with an over-the-top reply. All. I do not know who Angelo is, I am Will Novak, who lives in Arizona. Vermont seems like a very far away for me to travel for the bachelor party of a guy I've never met. That being said, fucking count me in. From the contents of this email, Angelo sounds tremendous, and I want to help send him off in style. I hope his bride or groom to be is awesome. I should note that being a desert dweller, I've only been skiing once, and I was real bad at it. I hope you are all patient with me on the slopes. In exchange for said patience, I can bring my sweet Nintendo Switch so we can play games in the cabin, chalet, whatever, in the evenings. If Angelo isn't into video games, I'm happy to bring Sudoku puzzles or just Indian leg wrestle or whatever he likes. I do find myself
I like Will
tripped up.
Novak.
He's
I know, right?
available for Indian leg wrestling? I don't even know what that is, but I'll probably try it.
I do find
really
myself
gay.
tripped up on what
got
to
lotion.
wear. Clearly, the direction of asking what would Angelo wear is a good one. However, again, I do not know him. I once got a wrestling singlet worn by Hacksaw Jim Dugan after a WWF event I attended in '89. Don't ask how, that's private. I can just wear that, though it may
No,
not be
no.
cold weather conducive. He signs it, yours in partying, Will Novak, the one in Phoenix. The guys in Vermont took Angelo off the group email and sent a reply a few days later, part of which are below. Will Novak, the one in Phoenix. We all agree. We are all very excited to meet you, and you sound tremendous as well. We agree that your timely response may have been one of, if not the best, responses to an email that has ever been sent, and we insist on you coming. This would surely make Angelo's day. We can pick you up from the airport. We will provide an outfit that fits, though I would agree the wrestling outfit will do just fine. I'm sure we can scavenge some money to help your cause and eliminate some cost for sure. Don't worry about the video games, but bring Sudoku puzzles. Angelo loves those. And yes, we would prefer Indian leg wrestling. We are willing
Gay.
to eliminate the $150 cost.
Now, do you need a condom for
I know,
that?
right?
Or
If you don't
Not
ski,
necessary, but wise.
if you don't ski,
to have it ready.
well, you're going to learn. And if not, plenty of bars and restaurants to where you can hang out and put out the vibe. I don't know what that means.
It
Will
has to do with the
Novak.
Indian wrestling.
Got
Gay.
it. Got
Still
it.
gay.
Will Novak, the one in Phoenix. We look forward to meeting you and helping us send Angelo off. These are the other. If you think we are kidding, we are not. You better be coming, as we are all dying to meet you. Not only will this weekend, will this be a weekend Angelo will not forget, it will be one you surely will not forget.
Angelo's
as
going
well.
to show up and be like, who the fuck is this
I
guy?
know.
Why is he in a singlet?
May I show
Why
you?
are we Indian
A
wrestling?
lightly soiled
So,
singlet.
so reading a little ahead of this story,
Yeah.
he's already back in town. He's already here.
Oh, of
Oh,
course.
he's
yeah,
been
yeah,
there.
yeah. He,
Oh.
well, it's this one was this
here's
weekend.
his first ski outfit
Oh my
that
God.
he chose to wear.
God, is that great?
Yeah, there's the
Very
first one.
nice.
And here he is.
Remember, it's an 80s theme.
here, here he is.
Oh, thank God.
And gay, I'm sure.
And here he is with the group. Angelo being in the middle.
Oh my God, I am
I am
the real Will Novak.
Well, he's a cutie.
Oh my God, how
He said
fun!
he had
Angelo looks appropriately confused.
Yeah,
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 he does.
he does.
Who the fuck is
But
this guy?
The fake Will Novak is a cutie.
Oh my God.
He's rocking that fur
He is.
cap, or is that his hair?
No,
Nobody
that's
knows.
No,
that.
it's not
yeah.
Leaf Garrett.
No.
So no, it's not.
He's a handsome fella.
That's
it appears
fantastic.
to be a wig.
That is fantastic.
So anywho,
I love it.
I think it's some kind of hat.
I think it's a hat on a wig, though.
Oh.
to have a
And-
special.
An
and
80s rocker?
In the prior picture, I believe he had
Yep.
kind of a mullet, feathered kind of
Oh.
wig
No,
thing
this
happening.
is that.
No.
That's
Oh,
just
no,
short.
I
like
no,
it.
he has short hair.
I just superimposed the mullet wig on it.
I'll pull up the other picture.
It's only natural.
Well, and I do
You
really.
hear singlet, you put a mullet on it. You know
I
what I mean?
like the second Will Novak
checklist.
guy.
Dogs and dykes. It goes together.
The guys all offered to pitch in for the tickets to get the ticket to get him to Vermont.
Here he is without costuming.
There you go.
He is a cute fella.
Yep.
I stand by it.
Yep.
That might not be his best look, but
Well,
cute.
No,
He's at the
but,
Phoenix
you
airport
know,
being interviewed.
That's
though.
right.
Exactly.
Not by a TSA.
So yeah, no, not at all.
Clearly, no. There's more reporters at the airport
Yeah.
than TSA
Right.
agents right now.
So-
Channel 12
so-
News asked to look in my bag.
I love that Will. He's a new dad, and he and his wife just finished paying for a home remodel, and so he wasn't like super keen on dropping those kind of funds to go to this thing.
Yeah,
but
Vermont is not a cheap vacation.
his friend suggested to do this GoFundMe, and it was funded in 2 hours.
That's fantastic.
By Saturday afternoon, the campaign had raised about $1,900, well beyond the initial ask of the $750. The extra money Novak is going to send to Angelo's charity of choice or his honeymoon fund, Angelo's honeymoon fund.
Oh, that's cool.
So I thought that was just a great thing.
I like just slap a wish on the wall and let somebody else fucking pay for it. That's
And
great.
see, those are the types of things, aside from medical emergencies, that's the fun thing that a GoFundMe page can do.
Yeah.
Just to go do something fun.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And I just thought, what a good sport. And, Aaron and I were talking about it, and we're like, I would also use the money to rent my own car because I don't know these people. So
You're
I'm not
letting go.
getting
You're
in.
letting go now.
I'm not, no.
You're letting go.
No.
Yeah, but it's bachelor weekend. I hope to God you're Ubering.
You're
Yeah,
Ubering. That's
right.
a good point. That's a good point.
Don't rent a car.
Right.
Take
So,
a cab.
but what a great sport. He just shows up and
That's
goes
very
with
fun.
that. I do. I love
Yeah.
it. So,
Absolutely.
anyway, positively. Very
Well,
fun.
it's not often that I get to share a story in the headline segment that is from my hometown.
Oh.
Actually, hometown, home area. But the
just
two
spoiled
the
it.
two media outlets within this are
I think he's from Arkansas.
who?
You.
No.
No?
No.
How in the hell would I be from
Where did
Arkansas?
that
I'm just
come?
making that up.
Oh, okay,
I
like
see.
It's Missouri or something,
like,
right?
Kansas.
There's no
baby.
Missouri.
Missouri.
Thank you. Oh my God.
I like how Marna got
So
tangled up in that name game.
Wait a minute.
when police in Anderson, Missouri searched 2 homes today,
Did the edibles kick in over there? What happened to you?
Sorry.
he's so fucking rested up from all his
I
sleep.
know. I
The
was
naps.
asleep.
My God.
Police in Anderson, Missouri searched 2 homes today, and they seized 58 grams of methamphetamines, a gun, a stolen ATV, a stolen horse trailer, and a dead bald eagle.
Oh.
The bizarre discovery
It's a felony.
came after the Ozarks Drug Enforcement Team at the McDonald County
watched that
Sheriff's
show.
Office and the Anderson Police Department served
Yep.
2 search warrants simultaneously to houses, according to the 4 States homepage for KSNF TV, this TV station I used to work for. McDonald County Sheriff Michael Hall said the dead bald eagle was found in the freezer in one of the homes and was turned over to an agent with the Department of Conservation, according to the Joplin Globe, my hometown newspaper. It is a federal crime to kill a bald eagle or a golden eagle. Hall told the Huffington Post he believes possessing one, living or dead, is also illegal. He said it is unknown how the dead eagle came to roost in the freezer, as the suspect of the home was not there at the time of the search. Authorities arrested 65-year-old James Kivett for outstanding warrants in Newton County, and charges are pending for items recovered from his house. This again, according to KSNF TV. Hall said charges were also being sought against a suspect at the residence where the dead bald eagle was found. Now, let's cut to a lovely mugshot of this individual. Look at him.
Is that the bald eagle?
No,
Yes.
that is not.
Oh.
Fresh from the
But-
freezer.
That's exactly what I think about when I think about Missouri.
But I feel,
Oh, stop it.
like there was a separate search warrant for the mustache.
Yeah. Yes.
It's
I
starting
didn't
to get
know-
away
Talk
on the
about
right.
armed and dangerous.
But we now know what happened to Yosemite Sam.
Yeah. Well, there we go. There's.
Be you the long-haired varmint that told my bald eagle? Potentially.
That's fantastic.
You're welcome.
I like it. Well done.
Well, Pittsburgh police are investigating an attempted carjacking that ended with the alleged carjacker giving up and running away. Police said on January 16th, around 5:35 p.m., a 20-year-old man said he had stopped at his house, dropped off food for his grandmother, and had left his friend waiting
It's very
inside
Little Red
his
Riding
running
Hood.
vehicle.
Yeah.
Very Little Red Riding Hood. The gunman approached as the driver ran into the house. According to the police, the gunman then ordered the victim's friend, who was still waiting inside the vehicle, to get out of the car. Then the alleged carjacker repeatedly revved the engine to drive off. However, was apparently unfamiliar with how cars worked, as the vehicle was in park the whole time. The man gave up and fled on foot.
Dagnabbit.
Wow.
Oh.
Are there any updates on the location of this person?
No,
Somewhere out there.
no, somewhere out there. He ran away.
That's
Well.
fantastic.
Somewhere.
Due to the lack of intelligence of how a car works, I got it.
You gotta make sure when you're gonna steal a car. Do I know how to
Do
drive
I
a
know
car?
how to drive
Right.
the car that I'm stealing?
If no, then you follow the diagram over to the right. Don't steal car.
Right, don't not.
Oh, he needed a flow chart.
He did. If he just would have flow charted it. Just take
Help
a second.
everybody.
Just take a second,
Be a better
draw out the
criminal.
flow
That's
chart,
all we need from
look
you.
one up online. There's a lot of them.
yeah,
We need-
exactly.
right.
Right next to Venn diagrams is a flow chart.
Like, you
Ryan?
know what?
Yeah.
Venn diagrams have
People
really
who can't
eclipsed.
drive and car theft, usually two
Oh,
separate
that Venn
circles.
diagram is just two
Two
circles.
circles, yeah, they
two
never meet.
circles. I think flowcharts need to make a comeback because
Yeah.
I've greatly enjoyed some
I feel like
flowcharts
the
in my
Venn
life.
diagrams, though, in the past year, there have been a lot of
They're just
talk.
all
They're
one
very
circle.
in vogue right now.
Yeah, they
There's
really
a lot
are.
of Venn diagram.
And I feel like I started the trend, but I don't know where I got it from because after I started making that joke, all of a sudden it was everywhere.
Probably Veep,
I know I stole it from I know I stole it from someone,
Sure.
but
like you do.
cutting edge.
Marnie, you want to drive away with something here?
Ouch.
Because I feel like we're just revving the engine.
Yeah, we're just revving in
yeah,
part.
No kidding. No kidding. Yeah. So I'm not finding where the story is. Sorry. I had a thing for millennials.
Allegedly on the internet.
Allegedly.
I like the irony of you not being able to find a story on millennials.
Well,
Is it the thing where
because-
CNN put up all the generations and left
Yeah,
Gen Xers
yeah,
out? Because
yeah.
that wasn't about millennials. That was about Gen
No,
Xers.
it wasn't. I know. I just said millennials because I couldn't think of.
Because you couldn't think of Gen X.
Yeah.
That was actually
I
a really
think
funny
I'm
story.
Gen
So I
X.
read that,
So I
and it was a
have
lot of Twitter
here.
quotes.
Yeah.
Oh, I
it
love
was-
when she brings out printouts.
No,
It's
I know.
good.
I
It's her
didn't
backup.
realize I was going to print out 20 pages. So forgive me, paper people.
They're called
I say
trees.
fling them in the,
Yeah.
fling them behind you
Right.
like you just don't care. Yeah,
So-
that's good TV.
CBS recently prepared a list of generations. And it had the silent generation, the baby boomers, and the millennials. It even gave a shout out to the post millennials.
Post
Gen
millennials are
X
people that
got
are under
skipped.
21 currently.
And they have we read the I generation or something because they're all devices.
So the silent generation is from 1928 to 1945.
Also known as the greatest generation, I believe.
The silent generation?
I think so.
Okay.
I think they've been called the greatest generation.
Baby
Tom
boomers.
Brokaw, I think, dubbed them that.
Yes, because they fought in World War
Two.
World War II.
Baby boomers are the 46 to 64. So,
That's right.
Our parents.
Our parents are right there.
and millennials.
Then it skips right up to the
What?
millennials, 1982.
Because born at
missing.
1981 to 1996 are the millennials. What's
So
in the middle?
the title of this headline, though, is that Gen Xers have the most Gen X response
Yes, they do.
to being left out.
Yep. Naturally, people on Twitter, including plenty of Xers, had some thoughts, not to mention more than a few memes from the films that helped define the generation. So anyone 65, 1965 to 1980.
Which is debatable
And
because there's
we'll
a micro
kind of
generation
give
in
it
there.
to
Yeah,
you.
there's a micro generation.
There's a
Kinda.
micro generation
Yeah.
at the end of Gen X that they call Xennials.
Right,
Which
right.
is
Which
me.
is you and Aaron.
Just the two of you. That's it.
Yeah,
Just the two.
nobody else.
We're very micro.
No one else.
Yeah, it's the
No,
Kat and Ernie
no,
show.
no. That's right.
So wait. So what are we? What are we
So
again?
We're Gen X.
We're
We're
Gen
Gen
X.
X.
Yeah.
Solidly.
I'm gonna get a shirt.
As a member
I can
of
make that
Gen
for you.
X, I'm
Okay, that'd be
100% cool with being left out of this mess, is one of the tweets. Like, nobody cares. I'm a Gen Xer standing in front of history, asking it to acknowledge me because, we're the me generation.
Sure.
We're Notting Hill.
Yeah, right.
Do I get to match movie quotes with the actual movie?
Yes.
You
that was
can,
Notting
yeah.
Hill.
Yep.
Because-
Where's our Broadway?
Hey, where's
quiz?
our Broadway game? Go get our Broadway game.
Because there's a
Just
whole
sit
lot of
there.
Remember Us, right? We have the.
Oh yeah, we have Say Anything.
That's right.
In Your Eyes,
Boomers-
Peter Gabriel. is
That's
the
right.
song.
That's right. Boomers yelling at millennials for toast. Millennials yelling at boomers for ruining the world. Gen Z snorts Tide Pods and yeets into traffic. What does this mean?
I believe it's a dance move.
Oh, I see. I've never yeeted in my life. And
The
then it's
Office.
just Jim.
It's
That's
Jim
right.
from The Office.
Gen X just observing.
Yeah. Gen X was apparently out of the building during roll call, probably too busy taking care of an elderly parent while sending an Uber to get an unemployed millennial child and arguing with a post-millennial about why the Wi-Fi is so slow. Hence, we're Gen X. Yeah, we're just so indifferent to being ignored. I just thought it was very funny. They had, you may know us as the ones currently shoring up boomer Social Security benefits while probably not being able to retire ourselves.
Keep going.
How about this one? Don't you forget about me.
Don't
Oh,
you
the Breakfast Club. That's too
right.
easy.
That's right.
forget about me.
That's right. And they wonder why we have abandonment issues and need decades of therapy. You forgot one. You may remember us as the inventors of Harry Potter, podcasting, and irony. Anyway, it just was very funny that they had all these tweets about angry millennials or angry.
That was
Gen
a really
Xers,
that was a
excuse me.
really funny
Yeah.
article with all the
Yeah.
memes. I liked that one a lot.
Yeah, it really was. It was cute. Oh
This is
well,
harder than I
whatever.
thought it was gonna
Never
be.
mind. They said.
Yeah, I know. We're getting there.
So when
So we have-
you complete those, you will hand them to me. I will grade them.
I look
and
forward
I will
to it.
let
I
you
look
know
forward
how
to
this
it.
turns out. So don't share answers amongst you two.
No, clearly it's a competition.
No, I agree. It is. That's the whole fucking way trivia works.
I'm guessing one. I gotta guess.
I'm guessing a couple here.
Yeah.
I bet I'd get them all right.
Wait, 1, 2, 3.
There was a team
There's
that was
extras.
12
1, 2, 3.
people, all gay,
Oh,
and they
God
didn't
damn
get
it! There's
it.
extras.
That's what I said. There's like 10 questions and 12 answers.
Fuck.
Oh, this is exciting.
He doesn't have a story anyway.
I know he
it's up to
doesn't,
you.
but I want to because this next
Oh,
story. I
yeah.
need you to. I figure you're going to participate
We
in my
need-
next
we
story.
need to participate.
Six was the most that anybody got the
I
other
have
night.
to go get the other things. I don't know. I forget exactly how they did. Well, actually, one of them went double or nothing, which meant they actually got 0 points for it, though they got like 6 correct.
Yeah. Okay. I don't think I can do better than 8.
All right, so
Done.
hand them to me.
Time.
I need a highlighter. Is there a highlighter pin
Yeah,
in
there's
there?
a highlighter.
I need a highlighter.
And I'm gonna go with.
Oh, I'm nervous. I'm nervous.
I enjoyed this because you may have it. Okay,
It's like
so-
the SAT.
Final answer.
Final answer.
Ding ding.
Pencils
Time's
down.
up.
Pencils down.
Well, let's go to Florida for a minute. A substitute teacher in Florida
Oh,
was
we just took a musical show tunes test in the middle of all this excitement.
Oh my goodness.
good. God,
This is the best moment of my week.
Oh boy.
sad but true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A substitute teacher in Florida was so angry with a principal that she smeared human waste around a Sarasota Park pavilion that the principal had rented for her child's birthday party. This, according to local law
What a
officials.
shitty thing to do.
Heather Carpenter, who is 42, faces a single count of criminal mischief.
There we go, our favorite.
Over $1,000, according to the Sarasota County Sheriff's Office. She was released after posting $2,500 cash bond. Authorities said they became aware of the incident on December 1st when a witness reported seeing a woman wearing blue gloves and a mask
Smart.
placing human waste and fecal matter on the
Same thing.
on the porous wooden tables
song.
and grills at Urfer Family Park in Sarasota. Mike Hutchison, who said that he was at the park at the time, told Channel 13 News that he was, quote, shocked and appalled when he walked into the pavilion and saw what had happened. He said, the smell hit me pretty quickly. And I noticed that she did it to every table. Hutchison said it was a mixture of urine and shit. And she had it in a big cup.
Makes a
and-
nice paste.
She had it in a big cup and was
gonna
just
vomit.
pouring it out and wiping it into the tables.
Oh God.
Authorities interviewed Allison
She went with
Foster.
the follow-up wipe. I appreciate that.
Do we have a picture of her?
Stand by. We're
All
going to get
right.
to all these things.
All right.
All will be revealed.
Okay.
Not all.
I know you're focusing
Let's
a
hope
lot
not.
right now, Marty,
I am.
but I need you just to ramp her down a little
Sorry,
bit. You're
sorry. I'll cut back on the meds.
Authorities interviewed Allison Foster, who was
Where's the
the
hyper focus?
the principal at Philippi Shores Elementary School in Sarasota, who told them that she had reserved the pavilion for her daughter's birthday party. Asked whether she knew anyone matching the description of the suspect, Foster named Carpenter by name, who had been working at the school she was the principal of as a substitute teacher.
That bitch.
Yeah.
Mrs. Carpenter.
Foster was assisting Carpenter with a professional complaint, and Carpenter was not really happy with how it was going or how it was handled. Carpenter, who was questioned December 7th, according to the affidavit, admitted that she intentionally placed the shit on the pavilion tables to disrupt the birthday party. The Sarasota Herald Tribune reported the cost to the county of more than $2,300 to replace the tables and the grills. Carpenter has pleaded not guilty. Now, here is her mugshot and a picture of her in happier times. The mugshot is the one on the left. I just want you to know. Well, I'm sure. I don't think they let you wear little reindeer
She's
ears.
lovely.
They let you wear whatever the fuck you're wearing when you show up to be booked.
She looks like a shit smear.
Yeah, I thought
But she looks better in the mugshot than she does in that goddamn Christmas
she looks
getup.
kind of manly in the mugshot, to be very honest about it.
It's true in both
You
photos.
look like a man.
Yeah, so anyway, there's that. She's a shit smearer,
Wow.
and she's got some stuff to deal with.
kind
Terrifying.
of disturbed by the
What a
fact that I
shitty
found
thing
her,
to do to somebody.
Exactly.
Seriously.
found her mugshot at track.
I already did too.
My goodness.
Got it. Well, then I'll do my last
Wow.
one.
You
That's
have
right, 'cause
more?
I'm used to
I-
this. Well, a Montana man.
Did you not do a second one?
No,
she
I
did.
did.
She did too.
Oh.
Oh,
A Montana man who
Have you
thought
been here the whole time?
the whole time. The whole time.
a lot of first hour.
Yeah.
I know you don't know what that feels like to have somebody else talk.
Yeah,
I know
no,
that's
I know.
very
It's all
odd
new,
for you.
All new.
A Montana man who thought he was shooting at Bigfoot on Sunday ended up making a big mistake. The supposed Sasquatch was actually a fellow human setting up targets to shoot in a forest area near Helena, Montana. The 27-year-old victim narrowly avoided death when one bullet hit 3 feet to his left and another bullet whizzed by him on the right, according to the Idaho Statesman newspaper. Police said the victim tried to avoid more gunfire by running into the trees before he was able to confront the shooter, a man in a black Ford F-150 truck. The alleged shooter reportedly told him, quote, "I thought you was Bigfoot."
Yeah. You found something rare and rarely
Right.
seen. Shoot the motherfucker.
Shoot it. Mount it.
The victim added that the suspect told him, quote, "I don't take target practice, but if I see something that looks like Bigfoot, I just shoot at it." The alleged shooter then reportedly told his victim to wear
That's
orange.
a life philosophy.
The alleged shooter then reportedly told his victim to wear orange if he did not want to be confused for Bigfoot. It seemed like a non-emotional approach to something that's extremely serious, Officer Dutton told the local station. The alleged victim told dispatchers the incident occurred Sunday, but he didn't report it until Monday, saying the quote, "I didn't think it was necessary." In addition, the man was not able to provide a description of the alleged shooter or a license plate. However, deputies have not found a vehicle matching the description. But the Idaho Statesman newspaper says that a woman has come forward saying that she too had been shot at by a man in a black Ford 150 pickup.
Isn't the entire state just Ford?
Black Ford
Right,
pickup.
Yeah.
The woman did not mention Bigfoot. She was, however, able to give a description of her alleged attacker. Dutton said authorities are working to find the man.
I hope they crack the case.
Put on a Chewbacca suit and run through the woods till somebody shoots at you. Maybe some Kevlar beneath, but
Could
that's a
possibly
personal choice.
be.
I just
Smart.
wanted to say hi to Kevin. Sorry.
Hi, Kevin.
is in
Hi,
the YouTube chat room.
Oh, the
Oh, okay.
YouTube chat room. There's
I
that.
just wanted to say
That thing that
hello.
I'm
Thank
supposed
you
to be
for saying
monitoring.
hello, Nero.
The room that I'm supposed to be
Weren't you
monitoring.
the secretary of the
Yeah.
YouTube chat room?
Yes.
Would you like
I
to
was
be?
like, just so
Secretary.
you know.
Doesn't matter.
So hi guys.
How do we do on our quiz? Who won? Did I win? Did
well,
I do it? Did
well,
I win?
I'm going to do it while he's doing entertainment because if I.
Oh, I do have two little teeny tiny stories.
Well, that
First
counts.
Now she's got stories.
Right now, she's got it.
First
Go
off,
ahead.
just yesterday, I was chatting with Donna Summer's sister.
Oh, I did
Yeah.
see that.
I
in
thought
the
this was
news.
going to be an entertainment. That's where I thought you were
No,
going
it's
to put
all
that.
Oscars. And then the other thing was the chat that started it was the concert series that I happened to see in 95, 96 at Humphreys in San Diego. Truly Donna's best work and the best her voice ever sounded is one song at a time popping up. So it turns out either they were filming that for
Somebody
somebody
filmed it.
or they let somebody in 1995, 96 with a giant fucking camera, because they were all huge then,
Right.
film the show, and it's the sound quality could be better, but the picture is perfection.
Wow.
And it's a lot of songs that she didn't perform again. It was a little like throwback to the stuff from the 70s that she did and some other little numbers, but so it was really fun. And in commenting on it, Donna Summer's sister thought we were referring to that real show that was on that Doug was talking about from that 70s thing that it
Right.
turns out I guess it's just awful, and it's like autopsies and like really disparaging specials on all these different people. And so her sister private messaged me to make sure that like if I watched that to know that it was garbage, and the family was very upset by it, and there was nothing in it that was like worthy. And I'm like, oh, I'm just talking about the video here, because I actually saw that concert and like thought it was really good and was so excited with some of the stuff that's coming out. And so she just asked me which concerts I saw, and I was like, okay. Her
Right
name's-
on.
Sunshine. She was Sunshine. Yes.
I think she's because all I can think of is Dara and Mary Ellen, and I can't think of the other sister that. I can think of the other sister that was part of that. I know Dara and Mary Ellen.
Google
I gotta
it.
Google.
Anyway, let's do this and we'll get back.
So it's just the Oscars. It's the second most important day of the year. The Oscar nominations came out.
Right.
I slept through them, but it was Tracy Ellis Ross and the gentleman who was nominated last year for The Big Sick, whose name I won't even try to pronounce without it written down in front of me. And it was a really charming little format that they did.
Cute.
There were some snubs and surprises. I've seen a couple movies I've crammed in. yesterday and today, some pre, some post. I got some movie recommendations for you. Some of them, luckily, are on Netflix. So that makes it easier.
All right. We're going to come right back with entertainment and Al Perkins talking about mostly the Oscars, according to what he just said. So we'll see how that goes out with us.
Oh, we do have a lot of fun around here, don't we?
We do, sometimes.
You're listening to Q Talk America. This is the Q Talk America Radio Network.
Boys, girls, boys who want to be girls, girls who don't know what they want at all. We're back. It's here. We're queer, and it's Q Talk America on the Q Talk America Web Radio Network at Studio C. I just graded the musical quiz
It's Legally Blonde.
of these two right here. And we're going to reveal, all will be revealed, these answers. It was a question from
We should go see it. Somebody's
my
staging
trivia
it.
night last night.
Carrie?
No, Legally Blonde.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
I don't remember. Orpheum. It's at the Orpheum.
Is it Orpheum?
Come to the Orpheum.
So
We should go.
So the way that the question worked was they had 10 names of songs and 12 musicals to match it to. So obviously 2 were going to be out. So here is the list of the songs and the correct answers. Those were the good old days is from Damn Yankees, of course. The Bottom Line is from Newsies. The World According to Chris is from Carrie the Musical.
Oh, and I'm so... If I had time, if we were on a time, I figured it out.
Stars is from
Les Mis.
Les Mis. Dentist is Little Shop of Horrors. Little Girls from Annie. Don't Nobody Bring Me No Bad News is, of course, from The Wiz. You'll Be Back is Hamilton. Blood in the Water from Legally Blonde. And The Smell of Rebellion is from Matilda.
And if it hadn't been on
Which
here,
was super fun.
The
Matilda was
Smell of
really fun.
Rebellion, I would have put for Spring Awakening too.
Oh,
You know what I mean?
Sure.
You could
You could have got there for that.
Yeah, because that's another show that I have. I have the soundtrack, but I don't know what any of the songs are called.
No, gotcha.
Yeah. The 3 that I got wrong are the 3 that I absolutely guessed on.
Yeah, that's what
I was
the
like,
two. That's the two.
don't
And
know.
I just put the Matilda because I was like, that sounds like it was going to be.
But
That.
I will tell you, last night during the event, there was one team that had like 12 guys on it, all gay. And I'm like, I thought for sure.
They couldn't at least get 50%. How many did they get?
They got 6 right out of 10.
Okay.
But
I
still.
am 12 gays.
Right, but
I'm better.
how many
I'm
cameras are on
apparently
you?
only 10.
But I just really was. I thought for sure they would have just knocked all of them out of the park, but they didn't. Anyway, it doesn't matter. It was all good times and fun. So carry
Well,
on
some
now.
of them are hard, like Newsies. I don't remember that being the name of the the song, but I remember the theme of
Yeah,
the
well, and it
Villains
was
piece.
Villains.
Yeah,
One of the two,
Villains made it easier.
one of the two teams last night. I don't recall which one it was, but one of the two thought, "Don't nobody bring me no bad news," was from Newsies. Like what? How do you not know
you're
that?
following a train of logic there.
Sure.
Okay, so it's Oscar season. So I have so many things pulled up for this for my own personal study at home.
Okay.
So the nominations came out this morning. Let's just go through and see what we need to see. I have this all pulled up. I really do.
You're doing a great job.
I truly do.
Really,
Right?
in
Well,
the running
because
for
I
Employee
keep
of the Month.
Talking to myself and like putting up different pages. Oscars.org. That's where we want to be. Okay, so actor in a leading role. No big surprise here. So we got Christian Bale, Vice, Bradley Cooper, Willem Dafoe for Eternity's Gate. Nobody knew who that fifth spot was going to go to. Would it be Black Klansman? Would it be Ethan Hawke for that movie that I really didn't like? It was Willem Dafoe. Rami Malek for Bohemian Rhapsody. Bohemian Rhapsody is the big winner of the morning.
Okay.
Bohemian Rhapsody, a movie loved by the people, like over 700 million at the box office. Not only a U.S. hit, but like a worldwide phenomenon. Hated by critics. Like, I don't understand what movie they saw.
Right.
I mean, it was just, it's a biopic. And
Has
people
that
are-
ever happened before where, like, when it comes to the Oscars, I'm so ignorant to it, that, like, critics hated something that...
Well, it has to have happened before.
Yeah, I mean, there's, like,
But
I mean,
this seems like
there's-
it's a
there's
different kind
there's
of...
some shitty movies that make it through that you're like, that one?
No, but I mean good movies that critics hated.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
Okay.
that happens. They usually don't make it to the Oscars, and then, like,
Right.
and they might get a surprise nomination here or there, but they don't rack them up in the important categories like this one did. And the only reason it's not in Best Director, as far as I can tell, is because no one directed that movie. The director
Okay.
got fired, like, halfway through.
Right,
so no
right.
one is really sure who directed that movie.
Okay.
But it really is strange. And the criticism about the biopic, which I can't get over, because every movie ever made about a real story, including First Man, including Hurricane, including any movie about real people, you have to change some stuff. Hidden Figures has all kinds of things that weren't really there. Like, that's not what they had for lunch. So I really don't get this whole, like, oh, I can't see something that's not... Go watch a fucking documentary. It's a movie. We got to get things together for time. You know what I mean? We have to set up a beginning, middle, and end. The stuff about the Revolutionary War, some of that's probably made up.
Right.
You know, I don't know if this is just
Weren't there
people...
camera crews there?
Right,
I read on the
and
internet.
I don't know if it's people, like, just reacting to something that's now within their lifetime finally. Like, maybe this is a first? I don't know. But I'm just... But clearly, the Academy and the people that are voting on this are all like, yeah, we like that movie a lot, as I did. Viggo Mortensen in Green Book. I guess there's some backlash going against this movie. Some are saying it's a campaign started to shoot it down because it won, just this weekend, it won the Producers Guild Award, and the Producers Guild Award 9 times out of the last 11. They have picked the right Best Picture because they use that same weird preferential ballot. So Green Book coming out of nowhere and getting all these nominations... and then winning the Producers Guild Award is coming out of what's light fare. Doesn't seem like a typical Oscar movie. And again, the family is bitching about the family of the pianist.
Right.
This was
That
not real.
they're not a really
that
great
they're making it up.
friends
But
and-
the driver, his son is the producer of the movie, one of the writers of the movie, and I guess he has some questionable tweets in the past. Actor in a supporting role. Mahershala Ali, and I have to apologize a million times for all the different ways that I say this man's name. I add syllables, I take away syllables. Terrific Oscar winner for Moonlight. He's in Green Book, and he plays the pianist, and there, like I said, there's something going on about that. True story, Black Klansman, really a light movie. Do not be thrown by the title. It is a very engaging, entertaining movie, kind of like Green Book, where you're like, am I allowed to laugh at this topic? Because this seems super serious, but it really is. Black Klansman has a nice touch with a really serious subject that it's a very enjoyable movie. But Adam Driver gets a nomination. Unfortunately, his co-star doesn't. So do you get in a little bit of trouble for a movie about a black hero where the white guy gets nominated?
Right.
There's always that little bit. Sam Elliott for A Star Is Born, probably the only thing in that movie that I thought should be nominated. Richard E. Grant for Can You Forgive Me? And Sam Rockwell for Vice, playing George W. So Sam Rockwell, after years of not getting nominated for great roles, now all of a sudden gets nominated for anything. Yeah, just go ahead. Actress in a leading role, the second biggest surprise tonight. Yalitza Aparicio gets her nomination for Roma. So Netflix is in the game after all the bitching of Netflix last year, getting their first nominations for Mary J. Blige and her songwriting. Now that happens again this year, but Yalitza is a really, it's the second biggest surprise. But the fact that they went with Roma so hard, Glenn Close for The Wife, who I think should win, finally. Her 7th nomination, which now makes her the most nominated person without an Oscar.
Okay.
She's tied with Deborah Carr and Thelma Ritter. Olivia Colman for The Favorite, Lady Gaga for A Star Is Born, so she joins the club of persons nominated for acting and writing a song in the same year. Mary J. Blige was the first last year. And Blige. We always have to say it like Whitney Houston. Melissa McCarthy, Can You Ever Forgive Me? She gets in for a drama and another one. A great role and a lot of fun, even though there's a lot of laughs in it. That's
and
a really
which movie is that?
That's the movie where she plays the real lesbian writer who was trying to write biographies of Fanny Bryce, and she was failing. So then she started writing
forging
letters in this style.
Right.
Her
That's
name was
right.
something Israel. I cannot think of her name. The woman.
That's right.
But her biography, Lee Israel, I think was her name.
Okay.
Her biography, if you ever get a chance to read it, she is just
Okay.
a funny bitch.
I
Like
love
that
it.
woman was truly funny, and just wicked and evil and bitter.
Hi, Annette.
Hello, and
Well, hello, Annette.
yeah, Mahershala Ali, and I was making it like Mahershala la la la, like I was adding all kinds of shit to that for weeks.
We're all surprised.
Yeah. Actress in a supporting
Especially
role, Amy
me.
Adams takes over where Glenn Close left off because now she has 6 nominations with no win. She is my pick because I've seen everything I've discussed so far. I've seen every one of these movies. God bless.
Okay.
Except for the Willem Dafoe. Marina de Tavira is the big surprise from Roma, the supporting actress. She is the mom in Roma. And what a delight, because she has the show year of the 2 roles. She's the supporting role, but she's the one that like purposefully crashes the husband's car and does all the weird shit while the dog shits everywhere. That's the strange part. Regina King gets in for If Beale Street Could Talk. I saw this yesterday. Go see it. It's the guy that made Moonlight, Barry Jenkins. It is a beautifully, beautifully done movie, and I need to know if he can make something that doesn't just rip your heart out and kick it around on the ground for a little while.
Okay.
Because this movie, I started off like just deeply saddened by the story and really like hurt feelings about the topic, and Regina King has a spectacular Oscar-winning scene.
Okay.
Like she's got an Oscar-winning scene, and Amy Adams had they're neck and neck. I don't know who's gonna go, but that scene with Regina King flying down to Puerto Rico is she plays it so strong, and it's just a well done
really
movie.
like her
But
a lot.
wait till you see her in this. But again, it's like Moonlight, where you just can't deal with that level of sadness, and they just keep a camera on someone's face for like an extra couple seconds, so you can just watch them hear what's being told to them and their heartbreak. And can he make a comedy? Can just do something light for me.
Although on the other hand, find what you're good at and just keep doing that.
Yeah. Emma Stone for The Favorite and Rachel Weisz for The Favorite. Terrific performances, and any one of the 5 of them any other year would be like the standalone. There's no competition, but the fact that they're all competing, when they get up, they all have to say like, what a fucking great year to be a woman in acting. And the same with actress in a leading role.
Yeah.
Those are all great roles. None of them are like supporting roles. None of them are like it's the girl that got nominated. Like these are all like terrific parts. Even as much as I didn't like A Star Is Born, she had a lot to do. She had no one to talk to. She didn't have a friend or a mother or anything around, and she kind of changed her point of view 15 times. But at least she was in the fucking movie.
Well, there's that.
Though one of the cool things in cinematography is that there's 3 foreign movies, and one of them is Zooey Deschanel's father, who's never won an Oscar, and he's nominated for his 6th time. One of that Inside Hollywood, and it's for a foreign movie called Never Look Away that was on nobody's guesses
Nowhere.
as movies. This is the one that they're like, what the fuck was that movie? So that's the game that the people at Gold Derby, the professionals that watch all this shit and cheat and talk to everybody, were like, I've never heard of that. But they knew his name. But in this one, Alfonso Cuarón, whose name is going to come up over and over and over again, that did Roma, actually did his own cinematography, because 3-time Oscar winner Chivo, that they've been thanking year after year after year, was actually too busy. So Alfonso Cuarón did his own cinematography, and it's gorgeous. Buddy Early said it today. The irony is that it's on Netflix, and it's available for all of us to see, but it's such a beautifully shot movie that it's a waste that you're not going to see it on a big screen. In black and white. Mm-hmm. You know how they have the golden hour when you're making a movie in color, where like they get it right at the right time at sunset, so the sky is golden and everybody's lit up right, and the waving wheat matches Brad Pitt's blowing hair and Legends of the Fall. The fact that in black and white movies there's actually that time of day that he keeps filming with the sun just in the sky, and like just these beautiful, like every picture of that movie you just want to be, except for the dog shit, You're like, I would hang that painting up in my house. That's absolutely gorgeous. So lovely movie. But so he has a chance to win like 8 or 9 Oscars. I don't even fucking know. Costume design. Here's where the movie came out that I'm like, what the fuck is the Ballad of Buster Scruggs? It turns out it's a Coen Brothers movie, Fargo and all them. It's 6 short films all tied together. The first 2 are just preposterous. The third one, I was like, what the fuck am I watching? And then I fell asleep because I'm constantly napping. So I'm going to finish watching that. But they're like 10, 15-minute movies. And one, the guy...
Well, they're perfect. You can just squeeze them in between naps.
Right. It's like 6 short... But the one is a singing gunslinger who goes to heaven. And as he's on his way to heaven, he sings another song with a harp. And I'm like, what the fuck am I watching? Black Panther comes in here for costume design. There. And Sandy Powell, who's been nominated like 8 million times, has 2 nominations. Mary Poppins Returns, which is where that fucking movie belonged. Directing. Spike Lee, after all these years, 30 years in the movie business, finally gets his first nomination for directing Black Klansman.
And probably will lose, right?
Probably.
Yeah.
But because of... No, yeah, he will lose.
Yeah.
Cold War, which I saw today because that came up, and I'm like, okay, that movie just came out yesterday or Friday. Like, how the fuck could it get nominated? Turns out won the directing award at Cannes. It's a Polish movie. It is everything A Star is Born should be. A musical star finds a young prodigy.
Oh, I saw it. Did you post something about that?
Yeah,
earlier?
and it was... It's the first time Poland's had a best foreign language film in years and years and years, and it was so good. Yeah. And Joanna, whatever her name is, that was the star of that movie, is just a big fucking star. That's kind of already happened in the rest of the world, and we're going to find her. This girl's going to learn to speak English, and oh my God, is she good. She's in her 30s. She won Poland's version of Idol, 15, 16 years ago, so it really is her singing throughout. The singing is so much fun. There's jazz music. It's all in black and white, which I guess is the new Vogue. So, that's the other thing. The cinematography category, 3 of the 5 movies are in black and white.
Interesting.
Very strange. Documentary feature, the Triplets movie did not get nominated. The movie about Mr. Rogers did not get nominated.
That was surprising.
Yes, but you ended up with RBG getting nominated. So I think we can count an RBG for the win because all the rest of them that everybody liked. It's weird that they went with the year with Blackfish. They went with the movies that people actually saw and had interest in. Right. I think they just don't like CNN.
Okay.
Like Blackfish was a CNN. The Triplets one was a CNN. 3 Identical Strangers. So I think they just don't want CNN to have an Oscar. This is my own thing.
So Jenny is saying, because you didn't know the Buster Scruggs, you haven't watched it?
I watched the first 3 of the 6.
And that's where you fell asleep?
Yeah.
And then you fell asleep. Okay.
I mean, the one with the guy digging for gold, I don't know what the fuck. I think I made it to the end of it. I don't know. I think somebody shot him or he shot somebody. I don't know. There's a lot of gunslingers in it. Film editing. Now, you can't. Now, no movie has won Best Picture without film editing. I can't remember what it was. It was the Birdman movie that was all about the editing. So it was Birdman, and then before that, it was Reds or Chariots of Fire. It was the early 80s. So here's where they fuck up everything.
My God, Reds.
Black Klansman gets in. Bohemian Rhapsody gets the big secondary Oscar nomination that you need to win, and really fucks the whole thing over. The Favorite, we know that's one of the good ones. Green Book gets in, and Vice gets in. What's not in this thing? A Star is Born. So A Star is Born just went whoo, and died.
Okay.
Good.
Not going to win Best Picture, but the rest is coming up. Foreign language film
better
Roma,
not.
back again. And,
Hold that.
I did not notice this. Roma is not in for film editing. So Roma just crashed and burned. So Netflix chances of a Best Picture, that changes all my thoughts.
Okay.
So now it's The Favorite, Green Book. Yeah, that changes the whole thing. Do not look for Roma to win Best Picture now. That's okay.
And we've asked
I'm going to call my bookie immediately.
I know that Clayton and I have asked this before, but has anyone ever won without being in there, or was that just recently?
No, it's been since there was the one, and then it hasn't been since whatever it was. I think Chariots of Fire or something way back.
The Reds or Chariots of Fire that you were talking about?
Yeah, you have to go back decades to find a movie that won Best Picture without being nominated. They don't win Best Film Editing, but they have to be nominated.
Okay.
Because that just means that some other group of people got on your team.
Okay.
And you know what I mean? Like, this group of film editors are what's going to put you over the edge to Best Picture.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Because film editors nominate film editors, actors nominate actors, writers. So you need another group to come on board with you.
Okay.
So all these little ones, they all get to vote on Best Picture. So if you get another crowd on your side.
Got it.
So foreign language film, Cold War, Roma, and Shoplifters from Japan. I have not seen it, but everybody talks about how good it was. And then Never Look Away, the movie that everybody was like, what the fuck? So 2 nominations for a movie that the people at Gold Derby were like, I just don't know it.
Yeah, right.
And then the other one that I never heard of, Makeup and Hairstyling, Border. It's foreign, I think. I don't even know. Mary Queen of Scots and Vice end up there, and that's probably Vice. Look for Vice to win because of even Christian Bale, every time he wins, keeps thinking, like, this is nothing without the people that made me look like Dick Cheney.
Sure.
Because I'm Batman. Music original score, Black Panther, Black Klansman, If Beale Street Could Talk, Isle of Dogs, Mary Poppins Returns. Mary Poppins Returns, perfectly fine movie. Nothing wrong with it. Not as good as, like, The Greatest Showman or La La Land. It happened. Some songs were sung.
I had a good time.
There was a story. There's 2 songs that I will not get out of my head without a bullet or some kind of, like, therapy.
Is it the bathtub one?
The Lost Things Place song,
yeah,
and then
yeah.
the one about the street lighting shit.
Okay.
Yeah, the bathtub song was good.
I like the
They were
bathtub
catchy.
one.
They were
No.
catchy.
Can you imagine that?
So, music original song, All the Stars, Black Panther, I'll Fight, RBG, Diane Warren. It's her 10th time being nominated for an Oscar. Her last time she co-wrote with Lady Gaga. Now who's she up against? Lady Gaga. So this is probably Star is Born's best hope at an Oscar, is Shallow. The Place Where the Lost Things Go from Mary Poppins. And then The Ballad of Buster Scruggs gets another nomination for When a Cowboy Trades His Spurs for Wings. And that's when the guy gets shot and turns into an angel in South Park style, flies up to heaven with a harp singing this fucking song.
What is this movie?
It's so bizarre. And like I said, I got 3 more stories to go and trying to figure out what the hell happened to the guy that was panning for gold. I know where the winner is. I swear to God, 10 minutes of the movie where it was just bizarre. We'll get back to that one. Okay, here's where A Star is Born gets fucked again. Sound editing. Nobody knows what it is, but it's usually the loudest movie. You get Black Panther, Bohemian Rhapsody, First Man, A Quiet Place. There's your correct use of irony. Right, exactly. Roma gets in there, which is a strange place for Roma to get in a movie with just people chit-chatting. Like, there's nothing sound editing going on there. Maybe the ocean coming in.
Okay.
Because it's all about fire, water, and, like, the elements. I don't know. Sound mixing. This is where Star is Born gets in because musicals usually win here. So it's Black Panther, Bohemian Rhapsody, First Man, Roma. Again, sound mixing.
But no
And then
Star
the
is Born.
one of the big snubs of the night is that Black Panther did not get in for visual effects, did not get a directing nomination, and no one from the cast got a nomination. So a little bit disappointing that no one from the black person from Black Klansman, no one from Black Panther got nominated. And with a couple good things. So, writing, adapted screenplay, The Ballad of Buster Scruggs, again, what the fuck, Black Klansman, Can You Ever Forgive Me, If Beale Street Could Talk, and A Star is Born. So Bradley Cooper's chance of getting an Oscar really die with If Beale Street Could Talk, because I just don't see how you don't give it. Even though he just won a couple years ago, I don't understand how you can walk out of If Beale Street Could Talk and not just check that box.
Sure.
It's just brilliantly written. Or this is your chance to give Spike Lee an Oscar if you're not going to give him director because he wrote Black Klansman. So, but Bradley Cooper, interesting, seven nominations in 5 years. No, 7 nominations in 7 years. Because this year he's nominated for picture, actor, writing.
Who's this again?
Bradley Cooper. And then he got nominated for American Sniper, where he helped produce the movie and he was acting. So he's got so many multiple nominations that he's at 7 nominations in 7 years.
Okay.
He's off to a really good start. No reason to feel sorry for him.
Yeah.
Writing original screenplay, The Favorite, First Reformed, which was terrible. But Paul Schrader that wrote it wrote Raging Bull and Taxi Driver and has never been nominated for an Oscar till now. So here's this guy that's written these like great movies and was snubbed. Now he writes this piece of shit and he gets nominated.
His mother's so proud.
There's no God. Green Book gets nominated, Roma and Vice. So I think, did we talk about directors? Let's go back. Maybe I skipped that one. Oh, I skipped the last 2. So director. Spike Lee gets his, Cold War. And they had to like make a left, turn around, back up, dance with a girl, howl at the moon to snub Bradley Cooper in this category. Because how you get to Cold
Blood
War.
Wolf, a super blood wolf.
Yeah, it was a whole combination. But how you get to like seriously snubbing Peter Farrelly for Green Mile and Bradley Cooper. You have to go to Cold War. Like, you have to go for I mean, it's a bizarre little movie. It's so charming, though.
Did any women direct movies this year?
There was one movie that was in the contention that they were talking about, and she did not get nominated.
I know.
So, no nominees. The favorite,
Another year.
Yeah.
Rats.
But strong women roles
Yeah.
and a couple of
Good roles.
nominations in writing for women. But the favorite gets directing nomination, Roma and Vice. So Adam McKay, that used to direct like Me, Myself, and Irene, all those really shitty Jim Carrey movies. This is his second time being double nominated in this same
good.
year. So he did The Big Short a couple years ago, and now he did Vice. So then the one that we skipped. So finally, Best Picture. We get Black Panther, missing a couple nominations, but terrific. It's our first superhero movie, first comic strip movie to be nominated.
Yep.
After The Dark Knight was snubbed, they went to this whole preferential ballot, 8, 9, 10 people running. All very good. Black Klansman, Spike Lee gets nominated here again. And then Jason Blum, we've talked about him ad nauseum. Jason Blum makes all those little tiny horror movies for like $5 that make millions of dollars.
But then you've talked about it.
You've talked about it, right?
I've talked to you. But he also made Whiplash, and he made, he's got 2, now I can't think what the other one was. He's got 2 nominations, so now he's on his 3rd Oscar nomination. So here's this guy that specializes in inexpensive horror movies that now has 3 nominations, and he gets there with Black Klansman and Jordan Peele of
Key and
Peele, who won an Oscar last year for writing Get Out. He's one of the producers of Black Klansman, so he's got his 4th nomination in 2 years.
Nice.
Oh, good.
Don't feel bad for him.
Yeah.
He's doing good.
I never do.
So that Spike Lee has 3 chances to win an Oscar. So hopefully, in this thing, we can get Spike Lee a little recognition 30 years later.
I just can't imagine there being a world where he would win and the speech would not somehow be politicized.
It would have to be. Considering that his big snub was the year of driving Miss fucking Daisy.
Yeah.
He got snubbed for Do the Right Thing.
Sure.
What did they not do? The right thing.
Yeah.
So Bohemian Rhapsody, again, shows up in Best Picture, Best Editing, Sound things. Like, I'm very happy that people saw Bohemian Rhapsody. This is the first movie that didn't have black in the title. Bohemian Rhapsody, and we're like, hey, that was pretty good.
Yeah.
He's not wrong.
You're not wrong. Black Panther, Black Klansman. The favorite shows up. This Yorgos Lanthimos is he's just a treasure. That even the weird movie, The Killing of a Sacred Deer, even that was at least interesting. Green Book gets nominated. Roma gets nominated. So Alfonso Cuarón gets nominated, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 times. I've lost count. A Star is Born gets nominated, and so does Vice. We were talking about producers and executive producers and had a whole long brouhaha about that. Dee Dee Gardner from Plan B Productions. This is her. She's the only female to win 2 Oscars for Best Picture. 12 Years a Slave.
Atta girl.
And I can't remember what the other Plan B production was in the last 2 years. But now she's nominated, even though that's Brad Pitt and her company. She's the producer. He's just the EP. He is part of Plan B. He's an executive at Plan B, but it's her movie. She did the hiring. She did it's her vision. So that answers that question. Like,
I'm on her side.
Yeah, me too. So this is her chance. She has a really solid chance of being the first woman to win 3 Academy Awards for Best Picture.
Nice.
So Roma's on Netflix. Like I said, I think it's out of theaters because it went on. They kind of did a simultaneous release.
Yeah, it was kind of simultaneous.
It's
because they've been pushing Roma on Netflix for a long time.
Starts off a little bit slow, but oh my God, is it beautiful! That's one that Marissa came in and talked about. I mean, the buckets of tears. But Black Panther, fantastic. If you've not seen it, beautiful movie, very political.
I haven't seen it.
Really pointed. Really has a point, something to say. Black Klansman, lighter than you're expecting. It's not light, but it's lighter than you're expecting. You're allowed to laugh. Bohemian Rhapsody's terrific. The Favorite, so much fun, and got the biggest belly laugh of all of these movies. Like, my friend Kevin was embarrassed at how hard I laughed at part of that movie. Green Book, another one, really light for a tough topic. Roma, not light, but very good. A Star is Born, Vice was I thought it was another one where I got laughs where just the darkest fucking humor. So that's the interesting things. Go see If Beale Street Could Talk. Support that movie. Mary Poppins. I don't know. Wait and rent it. It happened. And the only big snub was
I fell asleep in Mary Poppins. I'm admitting
that's
these
fair.
things out loud. I
Sure.
really did. I
No,
was
that's
like,
fair.
I felt that ocean
could
part.
nap through it a little
I
bit.
got really soothed into a little gentle sleep there.
I mean, there were the comfortable chairs. There was the whole 9 yards, and I was a little sleepy, but it was like, meh. I don't know. And so.
So there is a
I would watch Emily Blunt watch paint dry. So that's
Yes.
a
I'm
whole
not
other
going to
thing.
disagree with that.
and
piece,
so that
but-
so she wasn't nominated for Mary Poppins, and she wasn't nominated for A Quiet Place. They thought she would sneak in and get that fifth supporting actress spot, but it went to the woman from Roma. So Roma took both of her chances. It took her slot. She was never going to win, but she had a chance at 2 more nominations.
Yeah.
Glenn Close, now we've said it's hers. Like, they just have to stop fucking around.
Is there anybody else that could come in? Do you
Yes,
think?
the favorite.
Okay.
The favorite,
Yeah.
being a leading actress in a movie that's also nominated for Best Picture helps your chances
Okay.
immensely.
Okay.
It's clearly very loved because Roma and the favorite both have 10 nominations. The problem is it's all 3 of them. So look for them. I don't know if all 3 of them, I don't know if they're nominated at SAG. I think they are, but watch for that to win at SAG or Black Panther. And there's just so much good stuff. Anything could win.
Okay.
But now American Son, it's on Broadway right now, but it's going to be adapted for Netflix. Kerry Washington, Steve Pasquale, Jeremy Jordan, and Eugene Lee will reprise their roles in the Netflix productions. Kenny Leon returns to direct and produce. So it's another reason to see Jeremy Jordan on your screen at home.
Yeah.
Hopefully he's smiley. I don't know a lot about the show, but if he's not smiling, I don't understand why they put him in stuff.
He's never smiling. He's always kind of brooding.
I know, except for in Newsies.
Oh, that's true. He is kind of smiley there.
I know. I don't like the brooding.
No, you're not into emo Jeremy Jordan.
No,
I guess we'll
not
find
so
out. We're gonna
much.
have to go see it.
I'm trying to think if there was something. Let me look at my list. Let's see if I had anything else on here from the movies that I saw. Destroyer with Nicole Kidman. Oh, she got snubbed too. No nomination for Boy Erased, and none for Destroyer. Even though the reviews for Destroyer are just go see Nicole Kidman. And then they are doing, if you haven't seen already, the Rent for TV, Fox Live
It's on
Broadway.
Sunday. This Sunday.
Is it this Sunday?
I'm pretty sure.
I believe it is this Sunday.
Oh, it is this Sunday. Yes, the 27th. This month has just flown the fuck by. Can we play the clip of the commercial
Of what?
of Seasons of Love?
Of the live Rent.
I think we can.
Did you send it to me?
I'm going to right now.
Clearly
I don't
no.
think you know. Like, I don't know I was supposed to have that in queue.
People prepare for this show.
What?
No.
Come on.
No.
Lies.
Well, it's lovely. And what's her Vanessa Hudgens,
Uh-huh.
who I'm not a huge fan of.
Yeah.
You can hear her voice clearly, and
She must owe Fox something though, because she was in that awful Grease live too,
well, I think this has to do with from reading.
and that was awful.
Yeah, the Grease one was terrible, but Grease is we've talked about that. That's
It
just
needs to die. It's
it
done.
needs to die. There's too many mutations of movie versus stage. There's too many places to go.
And the number of things that you have to change because it's just offensive.
Yeah, and it's way too dirty. Which how they're gonna pull off? Although Rent is more overtly dirty, they're not sneaking all of those filthy lyrics into Grease Lightning. She's a real pussy wagon, Grease Lightning.
That's true.
Yeah.
Valentina is also in that production of Rent.
Yes, as I'm assuming as Angel.
I just learned that this past week.
And the hot hottie in those jeans from Jesus Christ Superstar is either going to be Benny or he's going to be Valentine's lover, Tom Collins.
Stand by. I can tell you in a minute.
Yeah, so either one of those two. So I just sent that. The clip had been going around and I just never got around to it because I was like, do I want to? And then I watched it and I was so pleasantly surprised. Oh, I did have a story for today.
Kiala Settle's listed here, but with no character name.
She is the soloist. She is soloist number 1, so she gets the big note in Seasons of Love.
Oh, all right. That makes a lot of sense. That's where she goes.
Let's do this one and find out what this one, because I think this story was interesting.
Okay.
But remind me I have a story for next week.
That's good, because I forgot who I was looking up. I got distracted by my own, by my own thing. Victor Brandon, blah, 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 from... Brandon Victor Dixon.
I said all the right names.
plays Tom Collins.
Oh, good. So he gets more songs to sing because Benny
Yeah.
Benny is who Adina Menzel's husband. That was Benny, so didn't have as many songs.
Oh yeah.
But then what's his face that played Tom Collins? He went on to do Law and Order and never sang again. Like nobody knows he can sing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he went right from musical theater to playing a cop on TV, and I hate when they do that.
And never left.
He did the
Been there
Sarah.
for 30 fucking years.
What's her name? Sarah whatever. Sarah Ramirez.
Oh,
She's another
God
one.
damn it, she needs to sing more too. Madam Secretary should be coming back though soon.
So, Greg Araki, the queer director of some of your favorite cult films, Doom Generation and Mysterious Skin. If you've not watched, listeners, these people won't listen to me. People out in the Ethernet.
Trying to queue up a video
Ships at
that you
sea.
sent to me.
No, I meant about this movie.
Oh.
Mysterious Skin, one of the best gay films I have ever seen. In my mind, the girl from Nurse Jackie plays the friend. She doesn't. But she reminds me very much of Merritt Weaver.
Fair enough.
And I was convinced for years that it was her. But Mysterious Skin, it's where my love affair with Joseph Gordon-Levitt started. One of the best gay movies ever. It's disturbing. It's a heavy drama. It's one of the best books I've ever read. So this is the director behind this, is moving to a new medium, television. Araki's newest project is Now Apocalypse, a half-hour comedy about the trials and tribulation of a hypersexual 20-somethings in Los Angeles who are maybe dealing with some kind of sci-fi end-of-the-world situation. The show stars the outrageously beautiful Avin Joja as Ulysses, a vape-hitting stoner temp who moons over his extremely attractive roommate Ford when he isn't hooking up with Tyler Posey, yes, the guy from Teen Wolf, and having strange recurring dreams about lizard-headed alien creatures. Now Apocalypse follows Ulysses and his friends as they try to figure out their lives in the age of sexual apathy. Based on the trailer, Now Apocalypse, which I have the trailer, it looks fun, sexy, and extremely gay. Like, they're going to do this True Blood style, where everybody's fucking. So this is not going to be the gay show where that cuts away just as they start to kiss. This one's going in there.
All
So
right.
I will put the, if I can, I will put the link to the trailer, hopefully.
We'll see if it works. Well, we can hear it.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Wait, what are you?
No, different thing. I'm
Different
putting
thing.
something in the chat room.
Got it.
I'm just looking up all the movies that he talks about that I'm never going to see.
Right, but Mysterious Skin. I've been talking about this movie. It was a strange find of mine. One of
Since
the most
2009, apparently.
I thought it was older than that. That was like 2006.
Oh, I'm sorry, 2004.
2004.
I get my 4s and my 9s.
It
mixed
is
up.
a movie about one topic that's very odd, that when you find out what they really went through is heartbreaking. It's just craziness. If it ever comes on cable, I will tape it and keep my cable box until I die. One of my favorite movies ever. So when I saw that this guy was up to something sexy and hopefully disturbing.
Sexy. Something sexy.
Right.
Yeah.
How do you copy a link?
Stop it. How sexy is
You
it?
go
Why-
up to the top and hit copy.
Is it super sexy?
Super sexy.
It's gonna be super sexy.
She's
Oh,
super
no.
sexy.
So
Copy link.
super
All right, there we go.
sexy.
Copied link. Now I
I
can
don't
put
know
it
what
in.
we're doing
Now I can
anymore.
put it in the chat room for y'all.
Super, super, super sexy.
That's very disturbing.
And kind
So
of
it
the
is a-
opposite of what you're going for.
Yeah, well,
So in a surprising turn of events,
Exactly.
anything.
Complete opposite.
wouldn't go
that's
for
kind of
anything.
it for the entertainment portion of our show because I talked about the Oscars at like a 3 times normal speed.
Good
well,
job.
Other than
Proud of you.
Other than passing away was Broadway performer, singer, actress Kay Ballard. Passed
Aw.
away.
Is she the one that Liza Minnelli always says is her godmother? Is this the Kay that she's always referring to?
There's only one Kay Ballard that I've ever known of.
I know, but Liza Minnelli has like 8 million godmothers that she swears is her godmother.
She really does.
Don't know, but she was. I just remember her. She had a raspy voice, and she was just a big personality of an actress, and died at 93, 94 years old.
I know, as it came across the news, my friend Kevin and I were both like, thought she was dead.
Yeah, well, I figured that you always think people. That's why I sent you the link, because like she just today.
Just today.
Just died
Headline,
today.
she was alive yesterday.
You're alive. Well, even earlier today. This morning she was alive.
Yeah. So my friend
But
that
was she happy?
No, no.
we hope so.
I do.
She
Yeah.
brought a lot of joy
I'm
to
sure she
people.
died happy.
Well,
And you wanted me to play this thing?
So this
Sure.
is the TV cast from this Sunday, which goes against the SAG Awards. It's going to be a busy day for my TV. And I think the return of Jon Stewart. So this is them doing
Here we go.
a little taste of
3,
Seasons of Love.
2, 3, 4.
525,600 minutes.
Vanessa Hudgens.
525,000 moments, oh dear. 525,600 minutes. How do you measure a year? In daylight, in sunsets, in midnights, in cups of coffee, in inches, in miles, and laughter and strides.
It's Valentina right there.
525,600 minutes. How do you measure a year in the life? How about love? How about love? How about love? Measuring love. Seasons of love. Seasons of love.
Just lovely.
So I'm torn about
For real.
watching that like in public at a bar viewing party or just at home because I know in the bar I'm gonna have to listen to every fucking gay try and sing the harmonies on that.
Oh, and they all do.
Okay, that's
So,
awful.
Clayton, where do you stand on that? Because I know how big
I
of
will
a fan
be,
you are
I will
of
be
Red.
anywhere but in front of a TV
Yeah.
watching
He was
Fox.
dragged to the
Yeah.
movie. It's not fair.
Oh.
Oh.
No, but I've hated
I almost got
I know you
almost
have.
got
I
murdered over
despised
hating the
Yeah.
movie.
that music and those songs
Yeah.
since before I ever saw the movie.
Oh, they're so lovely
Yeah.
though.
I
Well,
just,
they ruined karaoke for a good long time too.
well, that,
Oh,
did,
yeah.
I
that
get
didn't
it.
help either.
Yeah.
I
And
get
that is also part of why I cannot stand the movie Grease ever. Period. End of
Oh
story.
no, that
Oh.
Grease was killed for all of us.
that
that-
one, no.
that's-
Sad.
But again, I go back to I don't want to watch a musical about sick people in a dirty city. That's all. It's always been my thought about Rent to me.
It's about
I mean, all you gotta do is add fucking Jodie Foster and Matthew McConaughey
And Bryan Adams.
and Angie Dickinson to that, and
Wait a minute.
it's god awful worse. Just more dirty people.
So you're not invited.
No.
They all shower. None of them are dirty. In the movie, they were clean.
The
Nobody's
hell
ever
did
dirty in a
They're
movie.
pretty clean.
Yeah.
I can't figure out what the hell I put in the chat room.
I don't either.
I mean, like for the first thing that I put in the chat room, I don't know what the hell it is.
Well,
What,
let's
the link?
let's click on it and see what happens.
We put-
I-
Because
this
you,
a side effect?
Because you put links in there, they're telling you you're all grown up.
Yeah, but I don't know what I.
you know what we could do? We could
Should
go
we
click
follow
on
the
those
It's your
links.
Facebook.
I just did.
It's bitterly cold in Tower, Minnesota.
Yeah, no, that one I know worked, but then I did
Then what's
another
the question?
one.
How many other? Oh wait,
I did one down further.
that one's the YouTube thing
Yeah,
to
but it
watch.
says like stars and something apocalypse.
Somewhere in Los Angeles, it says. I'm from Minnesota. The Minnesota
Yeah,
anthem.
yeah.
So that's
But-
two.
That's
What?
that's your second
just
link.
found
So you
Two.
put a
Why is
video
it-
and a Facebook thing.
Yeah, but it's showing this. This is what I clicked on, and it's showing me that, and it's weird.
Oh, because you clicked on my link.
Oh, thank Jesus! I'm like, I don't know what that is.
I don't think the concentration
yeah, that's
drugs
the
are working
super
at
gay
all.
show that hopefully
It's just since Saturday.
hopefully they're all gonna have the sex
Oh well, thank God, because I was like, that is so
in that
not
apocalypse
Minnesota.
show.
Oh,
Like,
okay. I'm like,
My
what?
goodness gracious!
and like I said, and because Mysterious Skin, because I love that movie and that book so much. We do have one more thing to talk about. Because I love the movie and the book so much, I don't remember if it was like graphic in any way. Like I can't remember if there was any sex in it, because it's just such a compelling. It's such a compelling story, and you just get so drawn in. And if you get a chance, that book is one of the best reads I've ever had. Like I have never been so like, what? Who wrote this shit? I'll spoil it for you afterwards. I won't spoil it. They'll probably watch it. You guys won't.
Probably not.
I met y'all.
I'm not watching.
So then we have to talk
anything
about
that.
you.
3 movies a year.
I did finish. I forgot
Did
that
you
I
watch it?
finished because all I did was work and then take naps for the rest of my life. So you had some absolutely terrific twists, because what we missed in talking about this was it was a Lifetime TV show that kind of died in the ratings, but Netflix liked it, so they bought it, took Lifetime out of the picture, and they ordered a second season. So that's why it's been showing on there, and then next season they'll bypass it, kind of like what...
I see. Okay.
Because Netflix just did that to another show that we all just watched, that it turns out it was from somewhere else, and then Netflix was like, oh, no, it's not. Oh, Black
we want
Mirror.
more. Oh, okay.
Black Mirror went from BBC to Netflix. So they added a
So
character.
they're making a second season of that?
Yes, because if you remember the end of the book, he meets someone.
Oh, that's right.
So the story could continue. In this one,
Version 2 Electric Boogaloo.
he meets
This
something
time it's
different.
personal.
But what a crazy tightrope walk of. Well, he's just trying. He just has her best interests at heart, and she makes bad choices without him. She needs him. It is such a dangerous tightrope, and they added a very sympathetic next door neighbor
Okay.
for him to kind of empathize with,
Okay.
and they added a love interest for a brief time that you're like, where the fuck is this gonna go? And oh my god, what a nice twist that turned out to be. Of
Okay.
like, someone is paying it, like someone in the movie is paying attention to this creeper, but it's just it's so good, so truly well done. That this Penn Begley, I don't know him.
Okay. Is that the actor?
Yeah, the actor Pez Bengley. I don't know.
Dispenser.
Pez Dispenser. He's got some series of names. It's a P and a B. That's all I know. He's just missing the J, and he'd be peanut butter and jelly.
You'll
Well, yeah,
make him
'cause-
whatever you want. It doesn't matter. I know.
Because everyone's social media is just deteriorating over this. And we read the book like a year and a half ago.
Yeah. Carolyn Kepnes. I got her name down because that book was a very weird read.
It's Penn Bagley.
Penn Bagley. See, I made all those noises.
Sure. Pez Dispenser, Penn Bagley. Same song. Same song.
I really
Yeah.
got to tell you, like, what a tricky role
Anybody
to play.
want to raise their hand now?
Yeah, what's that?
For a name, like you coming up with a fucked up name?
Oh, yeah.
Marina or, Margarine or
I love
anything.
Margarine. I don't know why you wouldn't embrace that and make it your own. It's a delightful name.
We should make it into a song. That would make it better.
Be afraid. Be afraid.
And I guess the
Yeah,
Autopsy of Jane Doe is the one that I think Netflix is going to start shoving down your throat soon.
Is that the next one?
Uh-huh.
Ooh, okay.
And I don't know, that looked kind of creepy. But then I fell asleep, so
I feel like I'm out. I feel
Yeah.
like I don't care about autopsies.
Yeah, I don't either. And
Like,
from what I've heard,
eh.
that Reels thing did like 4. They've just got the 70s show. All the lead ups to whatever the theme is like just autopsies. Granted, I'm not gonna lie to you. Sometimes I Google to find out if there's autopsy pictures, and I did spend a lot of time on the Michael Jackson autopsy.
Yeah.
Well, sure, everyone did.
I
No,
learned-
that's a cultural.
I learned some things.
It's a cultural marker.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I know things now, many valuable things.
Clayton, if you want, there's a.
It's nice
I don't
to know
if
a
you
lot.
want, but there's
And a little bit not.
map for Meowcal in the chat room.
Oh,
Oh, very
Uh,
exciting.
Is this an updated map?
It is an updated map.
we've needed one.
We
Yes.
really do.
Our
and
chief
it-
cartographer really took too long off for Christmas.
I am
Where
telling you.
is this?
Seriously,
it's
how many days of Christmas
under
are
my
there where
name
you
of
live?
Link, the bitterly cold wind chills. It'll show.
Oh, I saw that one.
Yeah.
I already looked at that. I'm bored already.
No, I already looked at that.
I did.
See?
I'm just saying, if you
Where's
take
the-
a look at that, this should be Meowcal's neck of the woods, I believe, because he's somewhere in the middle of absolutely fucking nowhere, according to him.
Oh, gotcha.
And International Falls, if you look at the top, that's where Tamra Bobst is from. 50 below zero.
Where's
Fuck.
Where's Frostbite Falls?
Frostbite Falls is right around International Falls,
Oh,
because that's
because
where
you get
you'll
frostbite
die.
internationally. Yeah,
That's where you'll die.
that's the
It's
truth.
awful.
That's a true
That
story.
sounds ominous.
Do you know what
That's awful.
Frostbite Falls is? That's the fictional town that Rocky and Bullwinkle Moose always have to go to.
Oh my
No.
God, I didn't know that. I'm like, it's probably up there. No.
Oh no! My bad. No, isn't
I like that you were really confident about
Frostbite
that.
Falls?
Cars?
Frostbite Falls was Dudley Do-Right.
Oh, very good.
I didn't know her.
Very good.
Yeah.
I bet you it's a
No,
real
you were
place,
right
though.
the first time.
Oh, is it Brocky,
Rocky
and Bullwinkle?
That's fantastic.
The Adventures of a Moose and Flying Squirrel in Frostbite Falls, Minnesota.
Okay,
I did not.
You were
realize
right the
that.
first time.
Well,
go with your gut.
Yeah.
goddamn near right there. Isn't that just crazy?
Oh, and then it recommends that I watch Bewitched. Not a
Ooh.
bad option.
Oh, I love Bewitched. And you know what? Sometimes if I'm really wasted, I will make up words to the theme song.
That's
Last
just a
time,
good
you
time.
remember, the citizens of Frostbite Falls had the shock of their lives when every TV antenna in town mysteriously disappeared.
Is that who crime scene footage was doing an impression of?
No,
I
but
love
that's
it works.
That's
That
spot on.
Look at that. See, Meow Cow says, I'm on this map, and yes, I will die in this cold.
We'll miss you.
Spencer,
Well-
you need to stay inside.
Thank you for participating in all
Yes.
of the shows you've done.
If
in
you
the
delay the funeral till June, we'll think about coming.
Could you just do one more
Late
map?
June.
Just
Yeah.
we just
Maybe
we'll,
August.
we'll need a map. That's all. Just
Show
before
us
you
a
go.
Mega Coda, because he's never incorporated Mega Coda.
Oh,
Oh,
that's good.
Mega
Mega
Coda.
Mega Coda.
Now, is there a further south and a further north Mega Coda?
No,
no,
it's
that's
just
the
Mega
whole point
Coda.
of Mega Coda.
Just Mega Coda.
Well,
Taking
But
all
then
the
we needed,
codas
but
into
then we
one
needed,
Mega
we
Coda.
needed to combine the Carolinas into something.
Megalina.
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 Oh, Carolina. Megalina.
Megalina. Well,
Margarine is still available. I don't want to tell you how to live your lives.
well, see, Meow's on top of this. You know,
Yeah,
it might
the
be time to change
coldest-
the shorts to
The
pants.
coldest temperature I have ever participated in was -22. And that was without the wind. So God only knows what the wind chill
Right.
added.
Wind
But
chill.
-22 was
Fuck that.
where Mama broke.
Fuck that.
I've blocked out all of those times.
It's awful.
Don't remember
is
that.
what
The
it
negative
is.
22 was after I lived
Ooh.
in Arizona. That
Oh,
was
God.
that was a trip to New York City.
You know what I'll
And the
never
Moni
understand?
building had the negative, moan
Right.
and moan.
Right.
That's what that song comes
I'm
from.
familiar.
-22 up on the wall, and I'm like, we're done.
We're
We're going
leaving.
inside.
Right.
We got to go inside.
Sounds
Well,
like nope.
I have to tell you.
Turns out I
it's-
don't know the tune to Moni Moni, if you can tell.
Fuck that. Just
Ride your
fuck it.
pony.
I don't
Ride
really.
your pony.
I don't really understand a couple things. Like
Oh,
one,
really? You've
Tell us
narrowed it down to
things.
2?
maybe.
God, look at you go.
Oh, I got another link. I'm getting so good at this. It's awesome.
Oh my God.
Marty,
Anyway.
you're hyper focusing on this now. Calm
Sorry.
down.
My bad. Can
Yeah,
you
hold
get
on.
there?
Hold
Get
on, she
another-
got to put a nut on the
Yeah.
bingo.
Put another nut on that.
bingo board. She separated out her M&Ms into colors earlier. I don't want to be a.
do.
I don't want to be a tattle. What?
I did it.
That's not
I
on the
did it-
list.
I did it right here when I posted a picture.
Yeah.
And then people were mad at me because I didn't do the M's all the same
Yeah,
way.
and you have to put the M's the same way and flip them all up, right, and everything else. You know?
I just was happy I knew what colors were.
I only eat the ones with W's.
You're dumb.
They're special.
You're dumb. She's special. You're
No
fucking
dumber than
kidding.
lining them all up so that the M's are right. Same song.
How rude.
All right. So what's next? You got your 2 things ready?
Nah.
Big League Chewing Gum has added its first female character to the packs of gum.
Poor,
I'll
poor
bet she's
Bianca.
hot.
What?
I'll show you.
Yeah, right?
Bitch.
How can a big wad of gum in your cheek?
Oh, she has no lot of gum in her cheeks.
Oh.
She's just a cute girl with little black things on her face.
Oh, see, that's what they're going for.
Oh.
Uh-huh, sure. Let me see it.
it's-
Let me see it.
Well, hang
It's
on.
clearly it's marketed at teenage boys anyway.
Yeah, so let me
So
see
let's
it.
put some boobs on it and they'll buy it even more.
Duh.
Smart.
Yeah,
Let's-
I'm gonna,
Let's
I'll
put
verify.
some boobs on it. That's how you do this.
Yeah.
What? It's always it's
not a
always
bad
been
I
point.
feel
like
like that's what somebody
just
did to
not a
me
bad
like
point.
15 years ago.
No, you know what? What I was gonna say that I
Very
don't
different.
understand with this wintry thing.
Tell us.
People that fucking enjoy outdoor sports.
Oh, they're-
I don't get that. Like, why are you
I
going
think they're
out
just
in this
another
shit?
species. No, I think it's an
Well, there
evolution
are-
Their
thing.
brains are frozen.
There
It's
are
just another
sunnier.
species.
There are sunnier winter days where when you're being active, it doesn't feel as cold. Because I did that skiing trip, and aside from the horrible ending, it was very very pleasant. Like I didn't mind that at all. Because when we were skiing, it didn't seem that cold. you know
Other
what
than
I mean?
that, Mrs. Lincoln, how did you like the
Yeah,
play?
exactly. Never being shot in the head during the third
Yeah,
act.
none of it. None of it. I do appreciate Meow though.
How did you like the play?
And Nat, but fucking in winters
Here we
though
go.
is
Big
awesome,
League,
so
Big
I've
League
heard.
Chew. That's their
Well,
new.
you can't go outside, so.
Okay.
Oh,
All
it's
right.
an anime.
It's like an
thing.
anime girl, right?
You know what I loved though?
Oh, nah.
Yeah.
I
She
don't know
looks
if
like
it's
she caught
different
some
than
Pokemon.
sledding, but the spinny toboggans that sometimes they were store bought
Saucers?
and sometimes they were just a garbage can
The
lid.
little saucer.
Saucers,
thing.
yeah.
Oh my god.
Oh God, yeah.
No one should have
You're
lived through
done.
that. There was
Never.
nothing about that
No,
that seemed safe
nothing
or
safe.
appropriate. It was so much goddamn fun.
Oh yeah.
And
Yeah.
the water reservoir in Niagara, because they take the water out to make hydropower, and they shove it over to this reservoir that sits like it's a pretty big hill.
Yeah.
So you go to the reservoir and you can like toboggan down the side of it. That's where they go sledding or tobogganing. And the sleds and toboggans, it's all fine. But then every once in a while, some crazy fucker would like lube up the bottom of that saucer and spin it. Oh,
Oh, if you wax it, if you wax it,
that's what you do.
yes.
You wax it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Lube,
Zoom!
wax. In this
like a
connotation,
fucking
very
Japanese
simple.
bullet train down a hill.
You
But
remember how-
spinning.
Yeah.
And you
Yeah.
had to like sit on that thing.
and they had like the
cross-legged.
little. They had well, if you didn't use the garbage can, they had the little handles.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Fuck. I mean.
And then you had to like, and if you did have the garbage can, you had to hold on to dear life to the
Yes, you
fucking
sure did.
sides of those things.
you did.
And
So-
the Rubbermaid ones would like collapse under you sometimes. Oh, good
Yeah.
times.
We
was
would painstakingly
Lot of head
build
injuries.
throughout the entire side of our street because we lived on a hill, and everybody had like hills in their yard, and so we would
Did you have
painstakingly
a hill and a
build.
Dale?
Yes,
Okay, good.
no,
Dale didn't
was a little
live
bit of a
there. He
bitch.
didn't live there.
that's where the farmer was.
Oh, that's a Dell.
Oh,
Not
a
a-
farmer.
Oh, I
that's
let her
that's
know.
a farmer. That's a
It's
farmer
me.
in
Over
the Dell.
heel, over Dale.
It's a farmer in the Dell.
I liked her album.
Got it, yeah. Okay.
I like
The
it.
last one made me cry.
Oh, we've got a new picture.
Carry on.
Oh, God damn. Okay, tell
It
your
was a good
story.
story. It wasn't a very good one. We
Well,
just
it's-
painstakingly built
That's
like bobsled tracks through our neighborhood front yards. And then those goddamn saucers or whatever the fuck we were on. It was tubes after a while, like inflatable.
Oh,
Yeah, down the whole street.
the best
Yeah,
part was
that
the
sounds
people
awesome.
that had
Up
the
and
big,
down and around, and you would smack your
the
head on a
big
tree.
inner tubes.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you'd get like 2 kids on that, which was just bad because if they didn't weigh exactly the same, that motherfucker spun too.
And
would
one
throw-
was going
Yeah.
One
airborne
would
at
go,
some point.
yeah. Especially if your ass hit something and you were the heavier one and
Yeah.
your weight went down and the other kid went into the oh, she's in Canada now.
And it was almost all boys that lived on my street,
Yeah.
so there were jumps and like dangerous,
Yeah.
ill-advised things.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
Ill advised.
But we all survived.
How did we
Barely.
not die?
I know.
Yeah.
Gen
Well-
X? We're Gen Xers.
Now, who
Well,
are
she's
they?
not. She's
There
a
were
micro bus
several
or something.
undiagnosed head injuries.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure.
And they're
quite
still
cer-
walking
yeah.
around.
Well, just the three of us, maybe.
Maybe sitting at this table.
Yeah, something. I mean, really.
I did
The-
not
the
like to
fact that-
participate in much outdoor stuff, but when they
No,
would do
but
the
that-
big hill with the spinny thing, I'm like,
yeah.
oh, we're going. I'm in.
I'm there.
That's a
yeah.
good time.
Yeah, I did do this. I did do the sledding. That's true.
And then the best, there was a thing in the
and when they
backyard.
had the toboggan, the long one, I loved that.
And my dad would take out to when there weren't when I was really little and there weren't houses behind us. There was just a field. He would build up a hill and then he would go out there like an asshole with the hose and wet it down so it would
that's
freeze overnight.
Awesome.
Smart.
Oh, I like
That just says I want less children tomorrow.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
Too many kids showed up to dinner. We're gonna make an ice rink out
I
back.
need some.
Meow Cow.
Go sledding, kids.
We don't have
Put
enough
on your
chicken for
parka.
all of you.
Meow Cow sent a picture that I apparently need to save in the supercomputer for future reference, and here's the
smart.
picture. So, lovely picture.
It's fantastic.
Well
We have
played.
he has the
Dang,
technology. We don't, but he does. That's hysterical.
That's fantastic.
The shit stirrer and the mustache have
Yeah.
been combined
It's a
into one
shit-stirring
supervillain.
mustache right
Got
there.
it. There's that.
Dang, nabbit.
What song would that supervillain sing in a musical?
Something by Kenny Rogers.
You got to know when to smear it.
Know when to queer it.
I feel like we're gonna Larry Poppins this bitch into life.
Know when you got the runs.
Yes, yes, yes.
Oh, that's
It's a
good.
dangerous combination.
It is.
So we reached the part of the show where we're out of material and we're just.
We're vamping.
Nope.
We vamping
And
now?
then people tell me musicals don't happen in real life. Bitch, come to my
We
house.
just fuck do all the
right?
time. Sometimes there's choreography.
I know. And there's lyrics to Bewitched when I do it. Bewitched, bewitched. There really are.
Go.
Funny.
Dun, 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 dun.
Oh,
no
I
two
went to I
things you
Dream of
did-
Jeannie. Never mind.
Mary
Dun,
Poop-
dun, dun,
Mary
dun, dun,
dun, dun,
Poopins.
dun,
Mary
I like
Poppins,
it.
Mary
There
Poppins,
you
yeah.
go, Jenny. Mary
Larry Poppins,
Poppins.
second cousin, once removed.
I love it. Well
Oh, so
done.
here's a question
He's
for
from
the group.
Poughkeepsie.
We'll do like a real quick, thoughtful vulgarity.
Great.
So the woman that I'm chatting with online that says she's gonna like find my birth parents in like 3 degrees of separation
Oh, yeah.
Oh, sure.
sent a message.
When did that happen?
This
Was I
week.
gone?
Yeah, you were
Yeah.
gone.
you were
Okay.
gone. Sent a message this week. I just feel like you're eating baby food.
No, I'm eating pickles.
I don't
Yeah.
even want to know.
Oh, I
I
love
thought it was
those.
cat foods.
Yeah. I love those.
All the things that come in a pouch. Things that come in a pouch.
Kangaroo.
I'll take my $25,000.
Cat food.
Dick.
Oh, boy.
So
Yes.
I can't open my weed jar. I met a man who had no shoes, and then I met a lady who couldn't open her weed jar.
Her name was Mary Poopins.
Mary Poopins. Larry Poppins' cousin.
That's it.
Okay, so the woman sends you a message.
She sent a message this time because she said she'd get it down to like 11 people. And her question was, would I share my DNA results with her? And I'm like, what? Because I'm like, isn't my tree on there enough? So then I thought
I thought it was already done. I thought that's how you were matching these people.
Yeah.
Right, from results. So I'm like, does she want to do it and add it to her? Like, what? I don't get this. So is anybody like...
She wants to match you up to her people that have shared to her?
I thought that was...
Right, it's just a button on the bottom that says, share my results.
Or she works for the government.
Whatever.
Right, and they're trying to convict me of some crime.
Do you want... Did you do anything wrong?
First question.
Hey, I saw Beale Street could talk. That does not factor in.
First question, and don't answer it now. Have you ever killed anyone? Second question.
You can answer it if the question is no. If the answer is no.
How dead?
They can't tell you.
Did somebody need to help you with a shovel?
How pregnant are you?
Are you the Buffalo State Killer?
Ooh, wouldn't that be great if I was, though?
That'd be really
Not
cool.
really.
That'd be kind of cool. I'd be
know,
into
right?
that.
So allegedly...
As long as there was something on Netflix about it,
I
I'd
don't
be
know.
fine.
I don't understand how you're matching up with these people without your DNA results being shared.
Because he's not being matched up with
you
her.
You can see it. She can't. I get it. Okay, my bad. I understand it now.
Yeah. She's not falling on his DNA profile, so probably has to share that with her.
Right, because she's not a blood relative.
Right.
But
that would be my basic understanding of the thing.
But other blood relatives of yours, if they had submitted their DNA and were in that, you would pop up in their results as they are popping up in yours.
Right, which is the guy that said he thinks we're first cousins, but I think I'm his uncle. Did I tell you guys that part?
No.
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought you did.
I don't remember that part.
Well, you may have. I wasn't here.
So
we got very confused with cousins and nephews.
There's a younger. Oh yeah, but
the family tree does not fork.
No, we talked about her results
and an aunt or something,
and that she thinks that the one that says first cousin, second cousin, it's really aunt, and it's really something I can't remember.
And also, if you recall, we talked about all of this off air last week after the show, not
so
on air.
The information that she shared made it sound like she was convinced that the one guy was my uncle and the other one was my cousin.
Okay.
That was the lineage there. It wasn't first cousin, second cousin. It was uncle, first cousin. That's what she.
Because that would be your uncle's son.
Your uncle's son. So that was how she followed that down.
Not your uncle's monkey.
Right. No. Whole different story. And
or a monkey's uncle. It's a monkey's uncle. God damn it! I fucked it up.
Turns out this is my circus. You're my monkeys. I figured that out earlier.
Oh,
too.
you found your monkeys.
So, so let me get this straight.
Kay.
So there's this young man that got a hold of me, born in Buffalo in 1971, and we come up as very close relatives, probable first cousins.
Right.
And as he was telling the story of who his mother was, what he had learned, she fits nicely into the story that I know about the woman, my mother, having 3 sons and a daughter, all 2 years apart, but considerably older than me. Well, if you do the math of the 4 years later, the girl is old enough to be his mother, and if she got pregnant, probably would have given the baby up for adoption. And we share that Johnston name from Youngstown, and his mother had 3 older brothers, and the parents were like slightly older than they should be for someone of her age, which fits the story of mine because she would have been, you know what I mean? Not too much older for me, not older for this girl. Now that I think about it, she would have had her kids like very young, but then me much later. So as I put it together and I read through his story and I just told him, he gave me a little bio about himself. I sent back a little bio about myself, and then he told me his story, and then I put it together with mine, and I'm like, I don't know if you're making these same connections that I am, but
that would make him your nephew.
Right. I'm like, I think I'm your uncle. Like
a monkey's uncle.
Right. I don't think he's a monkey, though.
Yeah.
Good typist.
Yeah.
Haven't met him yet, though.
Skilled.
You don't know. Can he paint?
Yeah. Reserve judgment.
So that would be the weirdest thing of all to find someone else adopted out of this family that doesn't know who we're looking for, but we found each other.
Right.
So
That's how that DNA stuff works.
yeah, I think that's odd. So I guess somewhere on this page it says share your DNA. I don't see that. That's what she asked me. And then I thought, well, do I want to? Then I thought, well, I already sent this fucking shit. I already spit into a cup and sent it to somebody.
Right, so you got it.
The
Does she
government
want a
already
hand
has
towel
it.
from the floor of my bedroom? I don't know. I'm
That's
just kidding.
awkward.
Awkward for everybody. So
Yeah, right? Seriously.
So that is the weird update there, and I'm not sure how to respond. Like I just
So
asked.
how's she related to the? We think he's a nephew.
I don't think she knows about him.
Oh, okay.
I think he's too distant
From her.
or she hasn't found him yet.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Or like they may be, or I should find out if I should put those two together and see what they
come up
what
with.
they come up with.
Why would you be afraid of sharing your DNA results with her?
No, just normal paranoia. Like I don't know what I'm sharing. Like what is that like?
Is she gonna frame you for a murder?
Right? Like does she like get a cup? I don't understand. Like
No.
it's we're at a
Oh my God! Is she
technology-
gonna clone you? Do not share that. Do not share
I know.
the DNA.
Isn't one enough?
What?
Oh, no, we could use more of you.
What?
Yeah. Okay. Take your meds. Take,
Oh, my God. Can you imagine how unfocused I'd be?
Will you
What's happening?
Will you just put a couple of those on here?
I feel like I got bingo just watching
It
that.
can be any color you want. Just make a bingo because I feel like we've got it.
All right.
Is it
so-
too soon? Are we allowed to joke yet?
So I was
Please
so-
do. Please do. Always.
Serial-esque. Yeah, it does sound like a serial-esque pod. It would be an interesting topic.
Just don't talk in a fucked up accent.
I think.
I just have I've not been on
Like
that
that
side of it
South
as
thing.
she is somebody like, for example, all I've done is mine and my mom's, and obviously it populates all of that because of the automatic connection with that. Now, I don't know what it looks like when you go to somebody who's doing a tree and doing research that's not blood in that. If there is another way, like if other people share with her, if she's building a tree for somebody, maybe other people share the results and that enables her to put a tree together.
Oh, that could be.
I'm not 100% sure. I would think you could probably, actually,
But if other
if you
people
were to
share-
Google something about Ancestry.com, blah, 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 sharing your DNA results with others or something not on your tree, there's probably something that explains how that works or something
Oh,
to that
DNA
effect.
circles are a great way to discover other members who are related to you through a specific ancestor. Check out these help articles and charts. Learn how circles are created and how can you use them to get more from your DNA.
Okay.
So I guess this is where that share button must be.
And it's not CHER.
Click the DNA tab and then select your DNA results summary. Then click settings. Then
Wait.
scroll down to DNA result access.
Okay, I didn't know you were talking to me. Start again.
Okay, so
Here we go.
Here, this is
sharing your DNA story and matches. Sign into your Ancestry account.
Done.
Done.
From any page on Ancestry, click the DNA tab and select your DNA results summary.
First button.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
First thing.
Uh-huh.
Click it.
Yep.
Done?
Yep.
From your DNA homepage, click the settings button in the upper right-hand corner.
Okay.
Scroll down to the DNA result access section at the bottom of the test settings page.
Is everybody following along?
I should hope so.
There will be a test later.
I should hope so.
To
Yeah, this
the-
is now a tutorial.
To the what? To the what page?
And this is such a riveting story. Please do a podcast.
I think.
He might not be wrong.
Yeah.
I don't think
But
so.
you would need to do actual writing and producing of that podcast.
No,
'cause-
God, no.
Oh,
We'll have none
well,
of that.
But our ramblings wouldn't do justice to this story.
No.
I don't think it's a bad idea, but you'd actually have to do some writing.
No.
Yeah.
You'd have to write
Stay
out
focused,
stories
yeah.
and stay focused, which we're very good at. Scroll down to the DNA result access section.
What am I good at?
At the bottom of the test settings page.
Yeah. See, DNA.
So go. Are you on the settings page?
Well done,
test
Jenny.
settings.
Okay, go all the way down,
Should we sign off?
and it should say DNA result access. No, because the people are involved.
Oh.
They're
now.
involved.
We're a
People are involved.
tutorial.
Jenny's following
It's like
along.
when you break up online, people want to know what happened.
Yeah. Yep.
It's going to be a little separate box, and then at the bottom of that
happened
box,
after
it's going to
Jerry
say
Springer?
add a person.
Oh, add a person.
Oh,
Yep.
look at you found it.
I was told there would
In
be
the
no
field
math.
that appears, enter the email address or ancestry username of the person you'd like to invite.
Oh, okay. All right. So let's go up
You
to
can
her.
also then revoke access later on should
Yeah,
you
you can be
decide
like,
that
"Fuck
she's
you."
framing you for
That's right.
murders.
Okay.
Yep.
So let's copy paste her name.
Okay.
Yeah, and Nan's not joking.
Let's just
about
write her down.
No.
So it's
Don't give it out. We do know.
Nope.
We don't
Why?
need her getting a billion
Oh, you can
emails.
also share only your ethnicity results,
Yep.
so we can find out that you just
Well,
are white.
what I'm curious about is if you share, does it automatically share back to you,
Oh, my.
and then you can
Right.
see? That's what I'm really
I
curious
don't
to
give
find
a
out.
shit. I'm not going to blame her for anything. Listen,
No. I know
kill
you're not,
somebody.
but we're gonna figure. That's gonna be interesting to find out. If all of a sudden, do you magically get more information? Magically delicious.
One.
I was
Send it.
told there'd be no test. Yes, Meow Cal, it's true.
All right, invitation sent.
Oh,
Yes.
good.
So we'll update that next week.
So you have honored
So-
her request.
And now this other human
Mm-hmm.
who Todd, his name's Todd.
Hey, Todd.
Is that your nephew, Todd? We're just gonna call him the nephew and
So
Todd.
he was updated on January 19th. So after reading this with the siblings and the grandparents, I might be a half uncle. The number of siblings make it sound like the youngest girl in my story gave you up for adoption. 3 brothers, 1 sister. The last name Johnston coming up in Youngstown. There are a lot of similarities there. He has not, and I think everybody.
He can't be a half uncle. That's not how uncles work, by the way.
Right, because you marry someone else.
Right. Your uncle's only that half related to
The
you anyway.
monkey's uncle.
Yeah, but it'd be like your mother would be my half sister. Would be I'd still be an uncle, but
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. So, but it seems to take
Lubner,
it seems to
that's
take
right.
like a week or so for everybody to get their shit together. Like nobody
All right.
responds immediately. I feel like everybody takes a little moral inventory.
Oh, I don't think it's that at all. I think because they just don't think to log in every 5 seconds like Facebook.
Right.
So and then they realize it and they get back to it.
No,
in a
but it
couple
comes to your email. Like mine comes to
You know,
my God,
weirdly,
do you have
not
any idea how
everyone
many
checks
emails?
email the way that
Oh.
some of us do. Like
Oh,
I see them all immediately.
I have 900 and some emails. I don't know
Oh,
what you're
See,
talking about.
Marnie will never get to.
And
your
I
message.
delete them
No.
as they come in. Like
No.
that number's not getting big.
So there you go.
I have
That's the
ADHD
update, and we'll
people.
keep you up to speed.
Well, I'm
We'll see
excited.
if that does
Yeah.
anything with linking. So now,
Sure.
if you have an ancestry story and I did just said something horrible and you forgot to speak up, it's your fucking fault.
That's right.
Fair enough.
There's that.
I like it.
Good job, guys.
That's awesome.
Oh,
Good
Yeah,
luck.
that's a lot of
I
information.
think we're getting
It
very
is.
close to
Yeah.
finding out
I'm excited to meet
What
Todd,
hap-
your nephew.
what happened
Todd.
in Frostbite Falls later on. We're going to figure that out. Don't know. Well,
According
Kat,
to Jenny,
we'll-
you're
we'll
the
miss you
other
next week.
white meat.
I sure won't. Yeah.
Yeah, no, we'll miss you.
Have a great 2 weeks.
Yeah.
No, thank you, thank you.
Enjoy your
we'll
family.
see everybody in 2 weeks.
Yep, absolutely.
It's nice when they come to visit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also
to see
nice when
them.
they leave.
It sure is.
Of course
It's good
it
for a
is.
period of time. Yep.
Well, thank you all for showing up. It's nice to have us all back together for one show at least this year.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
So far.
So good. So good.
Well,
yeah.
as we wrap up this show, let's leave you with this parting thought. We will see you next Tuesday.